What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. And, of course, hop the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Yeah, everybody, welcome back for another one. Getting closer and closer to game night, Thursday night, and hey, we're 2 away.
Here we go.
Here we go. Let's go, guys. We're going to talk about our offense versus that Seattle defense. Is it any good? They have some names. We're going to talk about that and more. Of course, we have Shaquille, right? Darius Leonard in the house visiting the Cowboys. Jerry Jones talking about things, and he was kind of happy talking interesting stuff there.
And, of course, talking about the result of that visit earlier today.
Yeah, we're going to discuss that as well.
Lack thereof.
Yeah, we're going to discuss it all here tonight on My Cowboys Family in detail. So you know all the ins and outs on our daily news, info, and update situation here for the Cowboys. So maybe before we get going into that, we got to do the intro, the shout-outs to those that rep the boards here on My Cowboys Family. And we'll start off with the guy who took over back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys, Snug X.
You know why he's here. Huge shout out to the man Snug, not just the sponsor of the week, but the Cash App King back to back.
Yeah, he's got both of those for 2 weeks of domination. The streak continues. Snug X taking it all from the top there. Sponsor of the week back to back. Cash App King back to back. And Jason Renfro repping that Wanye Thomas this week with 30 points on the stream, boss. Much love to the man, Jason Renfro, who had to give the crown, the gifting membership crown, over to the great Mary Alvarez, the queen of the gifting membership side of things. Much love to her as she's repping that board this week. Now we have some new people taking over some of these boards. Like in the gifting side, Skeptical Fan, he's in first place for this week, trying to capture that crown from Mary Alvarez. And when you look at the overall board and the Cash App board, just like Snug X took it for the last 2 weeks, we got a guy in the lead on both those boards currently right now, and it is the great Stanley Smith. Much love to him, and we'll see if he gets the crown back. He did have that crown a couple weeks ago, broke the streak from Snug X. Will he break another streak? We shall see. We also got a couple other things for you guys to kind of know about here on MCF when it comes to a raffle. But first, use different ways to drop the love here, whether it's super chat or thanks button, jumping in the membership or gifting membership. There's 4 other ways that are more, overall are important, but also Cash App importance. How they can do it, baby? How are the 4 ways they can drop the love there?
Let me talk about
that
one
always
that was just
scares me. It's so loud on our side. Much love, Jason Renfro dropping that gifted membership. He's one back on Skeptical Fan on the overall board, and if my calculations are right, he's about 3 or 4 away from another membership, from another raffle entry. We'll talk about that in a minute. Congrats to Eric Wallace, who's got that Navy Blue Crew membership. And I'll update the board in a minute. Go Cowboys, Jason Renfro. Go Cowboys. So, yes, we'll update that board. But how are the 4 ways they can help out in the Cash App crown to get that crown, as well as the overall side of things?
Of course, you have the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
That's right. And we also got to do big shout outs here for those that rep multiple spots on our board. There's the Navy Blue membership, which is all very important this week, by the way. Navy Blue membership, silver level, of course, that next level up. And then the top shelf memberships, the star level and the over everything level. Both these level memberships, they get nightly shout outs here because they really rep this channel on this board. And a lot of people have been doing it for a long time. So maybe without further ado, why don't you shout out those star level members?
Thank you.
And the over everything level members.
Yeah, Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potts, Marissa Sparkle, Del Lunatic, and over everything, C Bass.
And you heard a name in there. You heard Mr. Over Everything in the house. Very special raffle going down this week into next week for that Philly game. But we got 2 birds lined up here back to back. So let's start off this week, giving everybody a chance to get in this raffle. And it is a big one. It is a 4-prize raffle brought to you by one of the names we just shouted out, the star level, De Lunatic. Boom. Right there, guys. There's 4 prizes. I'm going to explain them to you in a minute. But baby, how can they get in this raffle? What are the rules? How do they do this thing?
Again, you drop $10, bam. You're automatically entered. Every additional $10 is an additional bonus entry. They do stack and they keep on stacking. Of course, You also have some bonus perks if you are a member, because membership gets you an additional bonus entry as well.
That's right.
So, baby, well, what exactly are the prizes up for raffle here?
4th place. Of course, you can pick, if you get the 1st place spot, you can pick this one as well. Keep that in mind. But 4th place currently is the car package, the car cowboy kit package. Flags, decals, license plate
everything
cover.
you need to make your car a Dallas Cowboy haven.
Show that big D. Hell yeah. 3rd place, another package here. It's the I guess you could say it's the, I don't know where. I don't know, just saying, but the clothing
cowboy
package.
Gear, yeah. So
cowboy
you have
gear,
a
there
shirt there, guys. You can get any name, any number on the back, and of course, repping that cowboy cap with Micah Parsons' embroidered signature there on the side.
No cap, I want that. So hey, listen, that's a Micah Parsons special.
See, I
like that. I mixed that together, cap, and then saying no cap. But that's a cap if you win it, if you get 3rd place or above, right? And then the top 2 spots is pretty simple. You guys know the deal here. The world famous Cowboy Mosh jerseys. We do them for the Star and Over Everything monthly level membership. You see us wearing them every single week. A multitude of players to choose from, sizes, styles, new school players, old school. I mean, this week got
as long as we have it available.
Yeah, the 2 winners this week got Ferguson and Deron Bland. That's pretty fucking hot new right there. If you're trying to rep a player that's kind of up and coming, so a lot of choices. Even you got the old school ones, you got the current stars, and then you got some emerging ones as well. So a lot to choose from here. 1st place gets a jersey, 2nd place gets a jersey. Again, unless you want to go with the other levels, but 3rd place would get that cap and t-shirt combo, and then 4th place the car kit. Thank you, big thank you to the Lunatic. Make sure you guys tell the Lunatic some thank yous in there as well. The man are running all the boards, all over Cowboy content creator world. You'll see the Lunatic somewhere. So much love to him, repping that Star over everything and helping out the channel here, dropping these 4 great package prizes. Again, $10 you're in. You can stack as many as you want. It's unlimited entries. Membership. If you're a Navy Blue Silver Star over everything, you get a bonus entry. Get up your chances to win one of these 4 prizes. 1 winner, by the way. We have 1 winner per prize. So it's 4 different winners here. So there's 4 different people going to win these prizes. Anyways, that's the intro, the shout outs, the much loving right there to the man, the Lunatic. And now we move on to the nightly shout outs. Right? Oh, fuck, man. All right. We got the man, Skeptical Fan. I look over here.
Who also
gifting
another shout out
a membership. Yeah, he's now still a safety in front of Jason Renfro. I have to still update the board. Much love to Skeptical Fan gifting the membership. Big Dial 8604 getting that. Congrats to him. And much love to Skeptical Fan, who right now is also right there neck and neck with Jason Renfro in 2nd place, I think, or 3rd place. Tied. And also tied with the same amount of raffle entries currently. Much love, Skeptical Fan. Congrats to Big Doll. And go Cowboys. Who's in the house tonight, baby?
Let me see. We have Eric Black. Hello and hi.
Yeah.
Jason Renfro. Much love. Of course, Big Doll 86. We have Skeptical Fan. Always staying skeptical. Brandon James in the house. Much love. We have Esmodius representing. Xavier Hidalgo. What's up? Fuego, bringing the heat. Griff 181, good to see you.
Woo.
Oh, Skeptical Fan said, hold my beer.
Another one. Texas Cat.
Another gifted
Congrats.
membership. Huge shout out to you, Texas Cat.
Congrats to Texas Cat. No cap. And much love from Skeptical Fan, who right now, with those 2 back-to-backs, added another entry. No matter what, that's 10. He added another entry to this raffle for himself. Much love, Mr. Skeptical Fan, and he is currently up 4-1 over Jason Renfro.
So we have, let me see, Lost in Translation. Hannibal King, what's up? Much love. Let me keep rolling back this way. Little Dallas Cowboy. Eric Wallace, what's up? We got Fuego bringing the heat. Mike Agnana, much love. Yeah, it's surprisingly chilly here in Florida. Mr. MCF is very happy.
I love it.
I, on the other hand, look like a marshmallow, all bundled up. So,
cute marshmallow,
it's okay.
though.
It's okay.
Come on.
Well, thank you. Is there an ugly marshmallow?
No, not at all.
Well, there you go. And by the way, Jason Ruffer said, hold up, wait a minute.
Hold up.
Because he's dropping a $3.03
$3.03 303 in the house.
I was going to say, repping the 303.
Now he is officially over Marissa Sparkle right there as he jumps into 3rd place on the overall board behind Skeptical Fan. Much love. Oh.
So, yeah, Fuego, all the iguanas are going to be falling off the trees, right? So, again, with that said, guys, I'm just saying I'm going to go ahead and hit up a few comments. Comments here. Little Dallas Cowboys said, I'm a fan of the Easter Bunny and the chick marshmallows. So, I have to admit, I am
You like
not.
those? Oh, you're not. That's right. You don't like the Peeps.
I do not like the Peeps. I used to like Peeps when I was younger, though. But they're a little too something. I don't know. It doesn't taste the same as when I was a kid. Maybe when I was a kid, any form of sugar was acceptable, right? Now, Xavier Hidalgo saying we're going to beat the Falcons in the playoffs. And again, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but it seems very, very likely, not 100% set in stone, but very likely that we end up as a 5th seed, which means that we're going to play whoever ends up as the 2nd seed. And right now... we're going to play the 4th seed. And right now, I know that leading the division after that loss, I think, didn't the Saints lose?
Yeah, the Falcons now are first place currently.
So
that'd be our opponent in the first round. Yeah.
Which, again, that is still kind of a little asterisk there, subject to change. But let's be honest, it's very likely that it's either going to be New Orleans or the Falcons, the way that things are going.
Outside chance for the Bucs.
I was just about to say, I'm like, you can't completely discount the Bucs, but they're definitely trailing the pack there. So, and Eric Black, it was really nice to hear what Mr. Aaron Rodgers had to say about our QB Dak Prescott. Again, it's been a nice few days to be a Dak fan in particular. If you are a Dak fan, just because you finally, I'm just saying,
on this team, if you're not a Dak fan because he's our quarterback, then you're not a Cowboy fan. It's not about Dak fan. To me, it's about the star over everything and everyone. So I love Dak, but he's got to perform, and he's been doing that. It's not about being a Dak fan. It should be no Dak fans. It should. I'm just saying it should not be. Things have become so polarized, but it should be. You might not like the quarterback, you like the quarterback, but you still should be a fan of your quarterback and hope they do the best. And again, that's what I'm trying to say, exactly 100%, that Dak Prescott right now is showing out. So if you like the Cowboys, you're liking what Dak's doing right now. Hell yeah. And we got a huge drop here.
Yeah.
Right into another membership, another raffle entry for my guy here, Hannibal King 47, putting Jason to 23 points. Michael Jordan, or I guess a Rico Dowdle right now, on that overall stream boss. What did Hannibal King have to say as he gets his second? At least a second. I don't know if he's in a membership, but he said at least his second raffle entry.
He said, did y'all catch what A-Rod said about Dak? And that's exactly what we're just touching on now here. So perfect timing there, Mr. King. And yes, like I said, it's just really nice to hear him get that type of praise, because obviously when a QB like Aaron Rodgers says something nice about another quarterback, you do kind of pay more attention because he's obviously played the game at a different level.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Make sure you guys stay tuned, because we got the full kind of quotes that you take out from what he said. It's not just a clip or just a couple of words. We got the full context on Aaron Rodgers and exactly what he said and why he said it. You get our opinions as well. We want your opinions as well. That's obviously the hot topic. I didn't even put it up there on the board today as one of the topics, because, it's great, but it's the star over everything, you know what I mean? But I do want to hear what someone like Aaron Rodgers says. It is interesting to see his viewpoints, a great quarterback, a top quarterback in the history of the NFL, and you get to hear his viewpoints and why, he's very, very low key. I say low key guy. He doesn't really give anybody much props.
Yeah.
So for him to do that, that's a major kind of something he's seeing that maybe the casuals, myself included sometimes, we don't see. I have to keep that in mind.
Agree. That's why I said he plays the game at a higher level than we do, obviously. Yeah. So, and I did want to say one last thing before I hand it off to you officially, baby, just because, again, I think you can be a fan of a player. Like I said, I'm a fan of Dak. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean I'm putting him over the star. It just means I am a fan of Dak. That's it.
That wasn't about you. It was more about other people out there that just would take Dak. If Dak goes somewhere else, there's not Cowboy fans.
No player is over the star.
No way.
So that's a blanket statement we can go ahead and throw out there right now. So
you know how I always get with that. I always got to rep it that fair across the board. I'm pro Dak. He's a Cowboy, but if he fucks up, we're calling him out. Not like just looking for him to fuck up like the haters do, right?
Well, Scott the Fan said, I do see a little bit of Rodgers and Dak. And again, I'm assuming some of that is the McCarthy factor, obviously. But supposedly, if you want to go all the way back, McCarthy himself said before he came into the building that he was a fan of Dak and his style. So, take that however you want. The great, as heavily salted as you would like, in the sense of believe it if you want. Maybe he was just trying to butter up the Joneses.
I'm going to say this.
Trying to get the job.
I'm going to say, like Michael Donna said and Roger said as well, as we start to stream tonight, here we go. All right, so in the NFL side of things, running back Jonathan Taylor, who had that big, drawn-out issue with the team trying to get traded and staying there, fresh off a 91-yard, 2-touchdown performance in a win against the Bucs, he suffered an injured thumb that they had to require further evaluation today. And a lot of people are saying, it's a lot of doubts of him kind of playing the next couple of weeks. And then later on today, Jonathan Taylor is going to undergo thumb surgery tomorrow in Los Angeles with the hope that he can return in 2 to 3 weeks. And the Colts are still in the running over there for the playoffs, so, they need everyone they can get out there.
Unfortunate timing for him on a personal level, though, obviously.
Yeah, for his career-wise. Again, towards the end of this year, we'll see what happens. He's going to get out of his contract, and he's going to be looking for a new home. As a running back, that's tough if you want to stack that cash money. So, now, receivers, the Vikings. Very big player for them there. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, finally getting activated officially from the injured reserve, and he will play after their bye week. And they just played the other night, last night, Monday night, and they looked pretty bad losing to the Bears. So he'll be back now, but not this week. He'll be back next week when they come back to playing because they have a bye this upcoming week. 2 former Cowboys I want to just touch on real quick. Former Cowboy quarterback Will Grier. He was released yesterday from the Patriots, and they just let him go through waivers. No one picked him up, and guess what happened? The Patriots re-signed him. They just want to move him from the active roster to the practice squad. Okay. That's all they wanted to do. They did that. And, he's picked up and put on the practice squad for Will Grier. Former Cowboy Brett Maher. Oh, we forgot about him. It's so good to forget about Brett Maher. We got Brandon Aubrey. But the Texans, where's Eastside Howard? They're trying to be, they got Noah Brown, they got Dalton Schultz. Now they want to try to bring on their Brett Maher to Houston. And they waived Matt Amendola. He missed a kick there for Houston. I think it was a long one too. But I think he also shanked one earlier, a shorter one. Either way, they said they're done with Matt Amendola, which is a guy we tried out a couple of years ago with Brett Maher. So he's gone. Maher is being, having a trial kickoff there. The Texans are keeping their options open and maybe trying to sign Amendola to rejoin them on their practice squad, something the Cowboys have done with their kickers multiple times. Like we've done that a lot. And so, the Texans, they're just copying the Cowboys right now. They're literally the Cowboys.
I mean, apparently it's working for them. Look at it.
AFC side.
Look at them.
Yeah.
So
well, they're doing much better than they used to do without using the Cowboys patent here. So now we have when you got finishing up the NFL news, there are some.
Yeah, they're doing what the Raiders have tried to do for ages, just more successfully. If you want to think about it, because the Raiders kept trying to be a Dallas Cowboys 2.0, and it never really took off for them.
Yeah. No. They've been having some bad management, I think, as well. So, not that we don't. But, anyways, the point is Hall of Fame. We got the Hall of Fame here. And there's the modern era semifinalists that were announced today. Names like Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Tiki Barber, Anquan Bolden, Jabri Evans, let me see here. London Fletcher, Dwight Freeney, Antonio Gates, Eddie George, James Harrison, Ronnie Harrison, Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Robert Matthews, Julius Peppers. We got we got Steve Smith Jr., of course, Fred Taylor, Hines Ward, Ricky Waters, Reggie Wayne, Vince Wilfork, Patrick Willis, all great names, but the greatest name, Darren Woodson. Come on, let's get him in the Hall of Fame already. Darren Woodson, a key part of the Cowboys dynasty of the 90s, winning 3 Super Bowls. Stats are better than most of the people in his position in the that are already in the Hall of Fame. Once again, another time here, another year, he's now another semifinalist again for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024 this time around. I got to believe he's going to get in there. That's my opinion. Let's see, hoping. We're all rooting for Mr. Darren Woodson again in the Hall of Fame.
I just can't believe it's even taken this long in a way.
Most of the Cowboy fans say the same thing. Well, 2 guys that got in last year from the Cowboys repping is DeMarcus Ware and Chuck Howley. They will both be honored during the Cowboys game this Thursday night against the Seahawks. And again, they're going to be getting their Hall of Fame Rings of Excellence created by K Jewelers. They'll be, again, the Howley family, DeMarcus Ware, Chuck Howley, DeMarcus Ware will get these Hall of Fame rings at I guess, I don't know if it's going to be a halftime or before the game, but they're going to get their rings Thursday night, Amazon Prime, Cowboys-Seahawks game. So congrats to them. Already in and enshrined in the Hall of Fame. Darren Woodson, one of the semifinalists. Let's get him in there, damn it. Now, as we always say here, fuck the power rankings.
Fuck the power rankings.
Fuck the power rankings. But, as we always do, we always kind of touch on them real quick. So, Blogging the Boys had us at 4. They moved us up to 3rd this week. And NFL.com had us at 7. They moved us up to 5. ESPN had us at 6, up to 5. USA Today kept us at 5. But we're 5 pretty much across the board here. Yahoo had us at 7, kept us at 7th. The Athletic had us at 7th, moved us up to 5. Sports Illustrated had us at 6, kept us at 6th. Basically, anywhere between 7, I would say between 6, 5 and 6 is really 5 is what we're really high on there. We have a 7 on here. We got a 6 and a 3.
Yeah, basically mainly 5, mainly 5s, but depending on who you ask, maybe more like a 6-7, maybe more of a 4-3, like
4-5. Yeah, it's either 4-5 or 6-7. Either way, the only one that matters if you're holding up that trophy. That's the winner of the power rankings. Now, speaking of the playoffs, how you get to that Super Bowl. Let's look at the chances to make the playoffs, to clinch the division, to clinch the bye, to make the Super Bowl. What's the numbers looking like right now to Vegas? The Eagles, the Niners, the Cowboys, all at greater than 99% to make the playoffs. So basically, these 3 teams, the Eagles, the Niners, and the Cowboys have clinched a playoff spot. To clinch the division, now let me just say the Lions, a 97% chance to make the playoffs. The Vikings, 58% chance. But to clinch the division, the Eagles have a 91% chance to clinch the division, while the Niners have a 98% chance because they got an easier division in there. They don't have the Cowboys to deal with. Cowboys, we're at a 9% chance to win the NFC East, which...
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance, but the Lions have an 86% chance because, again, shitty NFC North. To clinch the bye week, to get that first seed, the Eagles have a 74% chance, the Niners have a 20% chance, and our Cowboys have a 5% chance. Now, we could clinch the division, but we won't still beat out the Niners unless they take an L. So, that's why the percentage to clinch the bye is a little more difficult than just clinching the division. There's a 4% difference. We can still get the division and get the 2nd seed, or the 3rd seed, just so you guys know, but it's even harder for us to get that bye week, that first seed. We have a 5% chance, the Lions have a 1% chance. And then you have to make the Super Bowl. Now, this is the current odds right now. The Eagles have a 34% chance to make the Super Bowl. The Niners, a 37% chance. They actually have given 3% more to make the Super Bowl. The Cowboys at 19% right now. The Lions at 6%. The Vikings at -1. Below 1.
19% are honestly pretty solid odds.
Again,
that's surprising to me.
We got to win the easier road game against the NFC South, and then we have to beat probably the Eagles and the Niners on the road. That's the 19%. That's where it comes from. So, we'll see what happens. This is all just odds and percentages. You get a feel of how difficult or easy it's going to be very hard for us to get the bye. It's going to be pretty hard for us to get the NFC East. And that leaves us pretty much clinching the playoffs with the 5th seed. That's where we're going to probably end up if we don't get those other 2 numbers. We kind of know that already. Now, there is...
It's tough, but it's not impossible. I do recall another NFC East team that started off, I believe, is the 4th or 5th seed and managed to make it all the way, but we're not going to talk about them because they suck. Am I right? Wrong?
Which team are we talking about?
Didn't the Giants?
Giants made us a 6th seed to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, and I think they beat the undefeated Patriots.
There you go. I was close. Yeah. I just remember it was not exactly the highest ranking going into the playoffs. Definitely the underdogs. How nice would it be if we went into the playoffs as the underdogs, though?
We are going to be in the second round. That's what. First round will be the favorites. But second round, it's going to be on the road at San Francisco, on the road at Philly. We're going to be underdogs.
Wrong. The reason I say nice is just because, again, we do tend to play better when we're in the underdogs. Just saying.
We'll see. I have no problem with it. I just hope the Cowboys can overlook all the odds and the dogs and all that good stuff. Anyways, when it comes to the Cowboys, what else happened today? Well, first off, I want to say that Mike McCarthy got up nice and early and spoke. It's like a Friday for the Cowboys, so he does his Friday discussions with 105 Through the Fan early morning on Shannon RJ today, and the main topic of discussion is again, we're not really even diving deep into Cowboys yet because we got to talk about the guy we're trying to sign right now, Darius Shaquille Leonard, and Mike McCarthy spoke about him. Shared his thoughts on Leonard during his appearance this morning. He said, quote, "He's a good football player. Actually excited to meet with him and see where this goes today. I just like everything in this league. You've got to evaluate the medical part of it, but just have tremendous respect for him for what he's done. But this is part of the business, part of this league. When you have opportunities like this, you definitely have to look into it." So again, we know, Darius Leonard's met the Cowboys today. And this morning, this is before the meeting, Leonard, they interviewed McCarthy. Leonard's going to meet the Cowboys. It was meeting the Cowboys in this afternoon. And when they asked McCarthy, is it going to take place today? McCarthy didn't say much. He said, quote, "Hey, I'm just looking forward to meeting him," end quote. And he didn't really dive any deeper on that. McCarthy's really keeping, not saying his distance, but McCarthy's just kind of doing his, kind of let the Jerry Jones side of things handle it here. I think that's more of a Jerry Jones thing, even though him and Dan Quinn do want him.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say keep his distance. That doesn't mean he's like separating himself, just more like he's not getting involved.
Yeah, so
in that part.
When it comes to Shaq Leonard there, will we see him in a Cowboy uniform? Well, not yet, but he was meeting the Cowboys today. And then you had Jerry Jones speaking on the man here, Darius Leonard. And I'll say this, when it came to what Jerry said, he kind of laid it out similarly as McCarthy. Jerry Jones said that, this is not a hard scouting job when it comes to Darius Leonard. He said, quote, it's not real hard to look and see what a player has been. He's been outstanding during his career, but we want to check his health. See where he is currently. That's what he's doing right now as we're speaking. So when he was interviewed, Darius Leonard was getting worked out, checked his health. Then Jerry Jones said, quote, and I'll have a little lunch with him while he's here. A player like him, you don't have any questions. His contribution away from the football team is well known. He's a big positive on a team. He has great respect from his teammates, has great experience. When you're playing as long as he's played, at the level he's played, then this isn't a hard scouting job. Now remember, guys, we talked about this yesterday in detail. Darius Leonard has had injury issues over the last 2 seasons, playing just 3 games last year because of a nerve injury that required 2 back surgeries within 6 months. That's the big hit on him right now. Plus that broken nose of the concussion, but that was kind of secondary, right?
That one is a little bit more, like, it's not like you're going to have a recurring broken nose, right? Or a recurring concussion as long as you don't take a hit like that, which, like you said, it's kind of more of a freak accident. Can't really predict that or prevent that, whereas these other types of kind of wear and tear injuries, that's a little different, right?
Yeah, I agree. And that's why the Cowboys are checking this out. Hey, listen, later on in this little interview, Jerry Jones said, quote, where he is health-wise is what it's all about as far as evaluating anything. So this health thing was said by McCarthy, said by Jerry Jones multiple times. And, we do know earlier today, the Eagles also said that they are going to try to bring him in. They didn't have a date yet. They didn't have a time yet. But they said they wanted to bring him in. They were interested. And Jerry Jones said he's not surprised that Philadelphia would be in the mix for Darius Leonard. And he thinks other teams, will also want to sign him as well. And we have heard other teams are also interested in him as well. So Jerry Jones said, quote, this thing probably doesn't have the financial aspect to it as far as competition between the teams. Now, what does that tell you? It tells me that, I think I'm reading this right. Let me know if I'm wrong here. But it sounds like he wants, like he don't believe money is going to be the deciding factor between bidding with other teams. He believes it's the opportunity he's going to have to be a starter and to show his stuff. And Jerry Jones obviously believes it's not going to be as much of the Eagles won't be able to give him as much as the Cowboys will.
Yeah, but let's
comes to on the field
from another perspective. He's just making it obviously very clear that money is obviously a deciding factor, but it's not the main factor because it sounds like things are going to be more or less, I don't want to say equal, but comparable, right? Like he kind of knows the range that he's at, and even a team offering him a little bit of extra money is not worth it if it isn't the right fit. Right. I think that's the point, because the difference between one team or another, we're talking a few $100,000, maybe up to let's say $1 million or so, but it's not like the Cowboys are going to lowball him with a $1.5 million and the Eagles are going to turn around and offer him $5 million.
Right. Not that big of a discrepancy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I kind of give a bigger range just to account for, I guess,
team for
exactly. So the point is that whatever that money range is at, we're not far, even if we are on the lower side, if that's the case.
Well,
someone said in the chat earlier, I can't remember who it was, but basically that, he probably just wants to go to, whoever can more seriously get him a ring.
You got to remember, I got to remind everybody, he's still getting $6.1 million from the Colts. So he's fine with the money is not the aspect. This is just about getting with a team that could give him the best run, get him a ring, get him on TV and out there so that next year he can get, number one, he can get in the game and play and show it what he's got and, get signed next year in the offseason. So right now, guys, when it comes to Shaquille Leonard, Jerry Jones finished up his conversation on this topic when he was asked, will the Cowboys make sure that Darius Leonard doesn't leave the building today and without a deal? Mm-hmm. And Jerry Jones said this, quote, that can only go so far. We got a pretty attractive situation for any player because not only of the way that we're playing right now, but also the aura of the Cowboys and our fan base and this area. So he forgot to mention, tax right?
Well, that's what he means by this area. Also, the unspoken, hey, we have like a solid program here under a solid coach.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like
it's Jerry.
Dallas is more of a draw now than it maybe was.
100%, and that's important to Darius Leonard because he's got to get on a team here and look good for next year. But the key, I think, also is it sounds to me like Jerry is living off of the star. Like he's saying, the star is enough for you bring you guys over here. So, to me, he's almost letting the star, he's almost overdoing the whole Cowboys selling, hey, this is just the Cowboys, you want to be here. That's not going to be the only deciding factor there, Jerry Jones. Keep that in mind. So we'll have to see what happens. Now, that was all Jerry said as far as Darius Leonard. We have a couple more comments from Jerry later, but I wanted to go back to Darius Leonard here and go through the day that went down when it comes to his progression. We heard from Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy on Leonard. He made it to the Cowboy area last night. So he was here 24 hours already for his visit with the Cowboys today. The Cowboys want him to get a feel for, really get a feel for his health. The Cowboys wanted him here for a full day because they wanted to kind of take a look at him, talk to him, check him out, work him out, all that stuff. But according to most sources, the interest is very high from the Cowboys to try to sign Shaq Leonard. He visited the Cowboys today. I also heard Dan Quinn wants him on the roster. Dan Quinn says that you better get him. The fact that he's visiting indicates, I think that, again, we look about the health situation, but if he's taking a lot of offers, not just the Cowboys, the Eagles, and other teams, that means that he probably has, I'm assuming, that his health questions have been resolved from his side of things. That's why he's taking all these visits. And by the way, the $20 Tony Pollard holler right there, the 2-0 by the great Marissa Sparkle, taking Jason Renfro down to 3 points. She's 3 away from getting that stream boss, control right there. So, and Marissa also, if I'm not mistaken, she is currently in first place on the overall board now. 4 raffle entries actually 5 when you add her star level membership. What did Marissa have to say?
She said, another 2 towards the car. Go Cowboys. Love you, Mosh. Of course, gotta give the shout out to the Mosh Man, guys. You already know. Go check him out. Give him some love. Sub it up. Get your jerseys from him. And thank you, Marissa. Appreciate you. Well, I feel like I had to go get like a little Hot Wheels car or something and then show it off.
By the end of this,
the MCF car, right?
By the end of 2 weeks, we're gonna be like, okay, we got to get some kind of extra prize, like a car or something now, like a little Matchbox Hot Wheels car. Marissa, much love to you. Breaks a tie in 4th place. Adds 2 more raffle entries, and currently in the top spot on the overall board. 3 away from Jason Renfro losing control of that stream boss. Appreciate you, Marissa. And you got 4 entries right now, plus your membership for one of those Mosh jerseys or one of the other prizes, of course. Even that car kit prize. Yes. Stanley Smith is in 2nd. Skeptical Fan goes to 3rd. And Jason Renfro there, I think he's in 4th officially now with Hannibal King in 5th. Just wanted to update the board for everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
And appreciate all you guys out there dropping the love, hitting that like, dropping your knowledge in the chat. Go Cowboys! So, what else happened here when it comes to the Cowboys? Oh, Shaq Leonard. So, Dan Quinn wants him. The fact that Shaq Leonard is visiting, it means his health should be okay, right? And he was being looked over, physically by the medical staff today during the Jerry Jones interview. Of course, after that, had lunch with Jerry Jones. And then, did he get the deal signed? Did we lock him in? No. Former Colts All-Pro linebacker Darius Leonard had a successful visit with the Cowboys. That's a fact. But now, the announcement after he left Dallas without a deal in place. And it was immediately announced that he is going to visit the Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow. Yeah. So there they come. The Eagles trying to do what we do and make the headlines in front of us. We let him go. Now the Eagles have a chance. It makes sense, though, for Darius Leonard to at least consider his options, especially with the Eagles right now in need of linebackers. You know, they had Nakobe Dean out. Cunningham, I think, is another guy. They just lost the hamstring. So they're light at the linebacker spot as well. So it's a battle between the Cowboys and Eagles, it looks like, for Darius Leonard. But again, it's really important to note here, guys, that it does not mean that the Cowboys are not going to still have a future signing in Darius Leonard. Keep in mind, in Philadelphia, he has deep ties and close relationships with some Philadelphia players. He has the fraternity connection with quarterback Jalen Hurts. And the Cowboys got to have it's going to be a tough sell for the Cowboys to bring him back. But I don't think, personally, Leonard will work very well there with the Eagles. The main reason is because their linebackers' biggest weaknesses is coverage. And that's where Darius Leonard is the worst at. He's not a good coverage linebacker. All right? And if he's healthy, he will definitely make a bigger impact in Dallas at linebacker. But now it's a big if he comes to Dallas. But if he's in Dallas, I think he'll have a better chance to show himself off with the Cowboys, because in Philadelphia, they need him to cover more. In Dallas, we need him to stop the run more. So that's his better. He's better at stopping the run than he is at coverage, and a lot better. I mean, a lot better. I'll go through that in a minute. But baby, I just saw a drop here from the great Mary Alvarez.
Yes, you did.
She is our gifting membership queen. She put that $10 holler. She's in the raffle. She's also got a bonus raffle because she's in that star level. What does she say, baby, with that 10 on it?
She said, "What, a car raffle? Count me in too. I need a car too." So first of all, Mary, huge shout out to you. Appreciate you. Second, there's no car raffle MCF. You know,
let's
we're
show
balling on MCF every once in a while, but not anything.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, that's.
But we'll show what the raffle is. Maybe it's a good time to remind everybody.
Of course, not just hit like, sub it up, hit the bell. But yes, guys, if you are entering the raffle, dropping the love, if you drop $10, bam, you do get automatically entered. And then that is cumulative, right? So let's say you drop 5 today, 5 tomorrow, bam, you're in it. You're good. So every $10, they keep on stacking. Right. So, you can keep on stacking your entries there. Unlimited
raffle entries. So if you want, every 10, you get another raffle entry. Ups your chances of one of these 4 great prizes. Remember, unlimited entries. And then the membership bonus. If you're in any level, Navy, Blue, Silver, Star, or over everything, bonus membership for you once you hit the $10 mark. Now that's how to get into this thing. Mm-hmm. The raffle will be done in that halftime of that Philadelphia game in 2 weeks. But baby, with the 4 prizes today, let's announce them real quick. 4th place.
Yes,
the car package.
Yes, the Cowboy car package. You get, some Cowboy decals, some the license plate thing there. So lots of other kind of cool
flags,
Cowboy car
lanyard,
paraphernalia.
3rd place, the gear package here.
That's right. You can choose any name, any number for that customizable shirt, and of course the Micah Parsons embroidered signature hat
with that number 11 right next to it. And 1st place and 2nd place, the same prize. We're giving away. Two people gonna get 1 jersey apiece. So, the sewn, stitched, a lot of choices, a lot of the deal, sizes, styles, etc. New school, old school, got them all. Whatever's available, you guys have it in your a possibility to get it. If you win, if you get in 1st or 2nd place, now listen, if you get 1st place, you want the car package or the hat, you can go get that again, and this will be 2nd and 3rd place. But if 1st place gets a choice of what they want, and the rest, fall in line after that. The Lunatic brings this to us. Much love to him. And go Cowboys. Appreciate you, Mary. By the way, Mary Alvarez has taken over Jason Renfro's stream boss. And is currently 100 points fully loaded up there, too. Star level member. The great Mary Alvarez, the queen of the gifting membership side of things.
So, by the way, let me go ahead and touch on the chat a little bit here. David Lara, much love. Justin D saying MCF is correct though. We need a downhill run stopping linebacker, not a coverage linebacker. We've got plenty of those.
That's the reasoning why I say Marquise. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Marquise Bell. You don't want to get him off the field because we got Darius Leonard on a passing down. You know what I'm saying? It's just smart if we get Darius Leonard for a run stop. And bring in there, we got a lot of guys that can cover. So that's not a problem. But do not leave him there in coverage. The Eagles will have him in coverage more. And if he's there, it might actually hurt them. He'll look better in Dallas not having to do the coverage thing as often.
So, Eric Black also cracked me up. He said, well, with 2 back-to-back surgeries, the only thing that he needs to be good at right now is laying down.
That's true. And I think that the Cowboys, listen, I'm going to tell you what the Cowboys said about this meeting in a moment. But you'll see. It seems like he's okay health-wise.
So at least there's that, right?
Well, you'll see.
So we'll have to see. We'll have to see there. Let me see. No, just kind of rolling back through some of these comments here. Just making sure I didn't miss any major important ones. So
I'm updating the board. Mary's in 7th place currently.
So, no, I think we kind of, Justin D said, that's why he was on the bench a lot in Indy. He can't cover.
Yeah, he had coverage issues, but here he won't have to worry about the coverage as often. Let's be real about it. So let me continue on what I was saying about him, because he does have deep ties to Philadelphia. Some of the players, Jalen Hurts, same fraternity, so that could be a help. But the weakness with the Eagles would be the fact that he'd have to do more coverage than he would be with the Cowboys. You guys got me there? Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the Cowboy side of it, let me explain it. Because he finished the meeting, and according to multiple sources, this meeting by both sides, by Darius Leonard's side and by the Cowboy side, went very well. It was a very good meeting. That's number one. And another thing I heard, his health checked out perfectly fine.
Okay, great.
So again, that's the word from the Cowboys, but we'll have to wait and see. But it's a good news thing that right now it seems like his health side of things checked out. The word was, even before coming into this meeting with the Cowboys, he was still going to go to Philadelphia. He had given them their word. He was going to see them on Wednesday.
All right.
So the visit.
So him leaving today without anything like signed or whatever, it's not necessarily, let's say, an indictment on the cheapness of our front office lowballing him, or an indictment on, let's say, his health. Like, oh man, we just decided his back was too broken for us. Like,
yeah, if you want to look at it from that perspective right now at this moment, we're only kind of getting, it's kind of just sources and words and kind of thoughts out there coming from both camps. If that's the case, it sounds like a great thing for the Cowboys as far as leaving it at this way right now. But he was going to visit Philadelphia no matter what. That was supposedly already talked about, I'm assuming, beforehand. And then he's going to make a decision. He said this weekend. The hope is that he's going to decide which team, the Eagles or the Cowboys, will he be playing for, after meeting the Eagles. He might have a team or two after that, but by the weekend, by Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he will have made a decision to go which team he will play for. Remember, guys, Cowboys play the Eagles December 10th, so a little tug-of-war going on there between the Eagles and the Cowboys for this player. And again, like you said, baby, it's not an indictment against the Cowboys that he left. It was kind of already planned like this. Leonard wanted to do other visits. He had told other teams he would be giving them a visit before making a decision in Dallas. So he's just being fair about the other teams. Now, will they be able to sell him more? Are they going to give him more money? The money is not going to make a difference, according to multiple sources. It's about the play time, the way he's going to be using the scheme. Remember what a real attractive, pull for the Cowboys on defense is the fact that, number one, Dan Quinn wants him here. Number two, Dan Quinn is here. And he would want to play with Dan Quinn, because we know Dan Quinn gets the most out of any player you give him. He'll get the most. He'll get his skill set and get him in there when you can play him and use him the most. The actual visit today between Darius Leonard and the Cowboys was described as, quote, a great visit. So that's a great sign there, guys, that free agent Shaq Leonard left the Cowboys with a great visit in Dallas. We both sides agree to that. And again,
it was a positive day in that sense.
A team source said, quote, he was a very impressive guy, end quote. So that right there is a major plus, at least for maybe us trying to get him here in Dallas, with the way everything kind of ended with their meeting today. And even though he left, the expectation is, he'll have a decision by the weekend, and that he will, pick the Eagles or the Cowboys. So I see we had a drop there from the man, Jason Renfro.
That's right. Thank you, Jason, with the $1. Holler, Go Cowboys. Much appreciated. Thank you, of course, as always.
Oh, so I got to shout out a couple more people. I truly apologize, baby, because Jason Renfro also dropped a little love in the Cash App side, trying to get on that board. And Jason Renfro dropped a $1 holler as well. Go Cowboys. Ooh. Much love and appreciation from him. And then, baby, we had another drop by the leader in the Cash App, and was the overall leader. He's getting closer again. He dropped that $10 holler, getting another raffle entry. And then he added 4 more on top of that. Go Cowboys, doubling back-to-back with the man Stanley Smith, who dropped that 10, that 4. So he's technically now 6 away from another raffle entry. He's stacking them. And he currently, I think after that 4 drop, he's in first place now, just like that. So him and Marissa got 4 apiece. He's 6 away. from getting another raffle entry, upping his chances in one of these 4 great prizes. Appreciate you, Stanley Smith, Jason Renfro. Much love to all. And go Cowboys. Much love there. So I'll update the board in a minute to make sure, we put Stanley Smith back in first place. He's leading both sides of the board, Cash App and overall. Now, I will say one thing about one of our guys that spoke today, and this is the only thing I have on him, so I'm not really jumping the gun here because we got to have our quotes from our guys throughout the day today. But Stephon Gilmore, he spoke today, and he spoke about Shaquille Leonard because remember they played together in Indianapolis for a couple of years. And what did Mr. Stephon Gilmore say about his defensive counterpart back there in Indianapolis? This guy right here, Shaq Leonard, he said, quote, "He's a great player. He impacts the game in a lot of ways. One thing about him is that he's very passionate. He's going to get the ball out. He's always going for the ball. So he's going to force fumbles. He's a head hunter." He said, quote, "He's what a linebacker is supposed to be like." Oof. So good words there. High praise from Stephon Gilmore after a couple years there with Shaquille Leonard. So he's got his 2 cents there. Now, I'm going to kind of finish this Shaquille Leonard portion of things, and I will let you speak on it and the chat speak on it real quick to get the end of this thing, because he's going to Philly tomorrow, and we'll hear something probably, if not by the weekend, closer to the weekend about where he's going to go. But if, and it's a big if, the Cowboys sign Shaquille Leonard, the one thing they cannot do, the one thing they can't do, is take Marquise Bell out of the game. Can't do that. You just cannot do that. Not allowed to. And the reason
the fact that anyone might even consider it is ridiculous.
Well, Marquise Bell must stay in there. Listen, Marquise Bell, I'll say this: they cannot take Marquise Bell out, and put Darius Leonard in on passing situations. That is, if they do that, the Cowboys are killing themselves. I'm sure Dan Quinn will not do that. Marquise Bell has been very impressive to the defense, a big boom to the defense when it comes to the Cowboys' overall pass defense in coverage. The ability to close down short to intermediate zones and again, reliably limit yards after the catch when the quarterbacks check down to the running back or wherever, and he's there to make the tackle and stop the guy, no yak. That is extremely valuable to make our pass defense better. That's Marquise Bell, and that's one thing he's been doing a lot. So when you look at the qualified defensive players, Marquise Bell has allowed the second least yards when in coverage. Second least amongst all defensive players, not just the linebackers. So in coverage, guys, he has a 0% missed tackle rate. Let me put it this way. Marquise Bell, undrafted last year, Marquise Bell is an essential defensive player in our defense now. So we get Darius Leonard, fantastic. You put him in there, run downs, great. Passing downs, boom. Marquise Bell is in the house. That's what we got. I want to make sure I make this clear, because this is why the Cowboys are not going to go pay a lot or go after him crazily. We got Damone Clark right now, and Marquise Bell making some of those run tackle stops and all that, but his size is a little smaller for linebacker. You want to get a bigger guy in there. No LVE the rest of the year. So this is where we're at. Now we got Rashaan Evans, but he's practice squad. Still gives me practice squad flavor, even though he's got more ability than that. So right now it's a very important thing that you cannot do. Now look, when you look at the liabilities, when you look at the negatives of Darius Leonard, without question, guys, it's pass coverage. All right? And this directly kind of goes along with Marquise Bell, because he's fantastic in coverage. I just read to you some of the stats from Marquise Bell. But Leonard, you have to have him on the field. If you bring Leonard in, you have him on the field to fill running lanes and gaps. Then on late downs, like second and long or third downs, you bring in Mr. Marquise Bell to cover the middle of the field. And he can still do run support. He can do that stuff, but you got also the coverage plus, the coverage boost. You don't get that. You get a coverage decline if you leave someone like Darius Leonard in the game for coverage downs, for third and 8 or 10 or 12. You do not put Darius Leonard in. You put Marquise Bell in. That's a fact. Now, does that mean we don't need Darius Leonard? Listen, when you have a chance, and this is my final word on this, if you have a chance to get a player that makes your roster better, creates options for other guys to stay healthier, like Marquise Bell, and you can really move guys around to maximize their skill set, I think you make this move, if hopefully we get him in here, and you let the situation work itself out. Like Dan Quinn, he is fantastic, like I said earlier, in creating roles for players that perfectly suit their skill set. That's one thing we've had problems on offense to do. But on defense with Dan Quinn, we've been doing it. I have no problem bringing in Darius Leonard and not interfering with the mix of things when you have Dan Quinn running the show. Any thoughts on this, baby, from you or the family in the chat? I'm sure there's a couple comments on this.
So, by the way, cracking me up here. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a chilly night. Justin D saying Nick Sirianni was the OC in Indy when Shaq was balling out. So, there's a little bit of that connection there.
That is another connection. That is a true connection.
I don't know if you mentioned it now, and again, please help me out here. I know we were talking about this pre-stream, but isn't there a bit of a Curse Leonard connection, right? Then they go to the same... Weren't they in the same fraternity or something like that?
No, I said it already 10 times. Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I think you said Curse.
Sorry.
Jalen Hurts is in the same frat as Darius Leonard, so that's always a connection that, that they may roll with. You got Sirianni connection. He knows other guys there in Philly that he's had connections with, so it is something to,
keep in mind in the sense that, there is a little bit of that kind of connection there, right? So... Just keep it in mind. Although, like we said, obviously it sounds like he's looking for more than just like maybe a buddy situation, right?
Congrats to Ron the Don Smith, the one and only Ron the Don Smith, and much love to Mary Alvarez, halfway to another raffle entry, gifting a membership, and she's on the board there, tied with Jason Renfro. I think she's tied with Jason Renfro with a gifted membership apiece. In second place, behind Skeptical Fan, who has a total of 4. Much love to you, Mary. She's got that stream boss. She's the gifting champion. Mary. Taking on over here, star level style. Appreciate you.
And, of course, congrats again, Ron the Don.
Yeah.
So, Dank Trees said the refs love the Eagles.
We talked about that yesterday.
And it doesn't matter where they are. They can be home. They can be away. It almost doesn't even matter the refereeing crew. They all love them some Eagles.
So maybe that's why he'll go. Maybe he'll go there because the Eagles get breaks with their team, and who knows? Look, it'll equal out for the Eagles. Trust me on this. That luck will run out for the Eagles. Trust me on this.
Let me see.
We're talking about Darius Leonard now. What was the any other comments on Darius Leonard? Any thoughts from you,
Mike Aldana said, will those pigeon connections get Leonard on the field?
Well, that's
shrug emojis.
And that is the bigger question. I think if he wants to be seen and be utilized better, do not go to Philly. Philly will put you in coverage, and it's going to look worse. You're going to make less money in the future. You come to Dallas, you're there to stop the run, and you're going to get that. You're going to get that play time. So,
but you know what? Those connections obviously got him here to this point. So. No, in the sense that he's obviously being like highly sought after and things like Eagles, that. And I'm assuming part of the reason isn't just the way he's playing and all that stuff. It is some of those connections. It is the Eagles saying, "Hey, we know this guy and we want to bring him in."
Yeah, well, they're in the works right now. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yep. Motor City, what's up? Jason B. He said, "Play Trey Lance." Remember, guys, if you're seeing Trey Lance, it's either
injuries,
week 18 and nothing matters, and he's playing over everybody, or somebody somewhere got hurt. Somebody's got hurt.
Somebody as in Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush would have to both get hurt for him to play in a game this year, and that's not going to happen. Hopefully, let me knock on wood just in case. Anyways, any thoughts on Darius Leonard, baby, by you, or any more from the chat? Because we got to move on here.
I mean, I don't really have anything more to add. You kind of touched on pretty much everything there. Like I said, I hope we are being at least aggressive and competitive. Like I said, it doesn't sound like it's a money thing, which is at least a pleasant surprise, since that's usually our biggest complaint here when it comes to trying to get these types of guys.
And maybe not health. It sounds like he's all right. It was a great visit. Great guy. I mean, the Cowboys gave it a straight A's there.
So if it comes down to fit or him deciding he wants to go with the more Super Bowl possible teams type of thing, I mean, can't really control any of that. All we can do is hope that he wants to be in Dallas as much as we want him here.
That's correct.
I would hate to have to face him again in a week and a half.
That's the big draw right now. Everyone's talking about. It kind of happened with the Giants. When it happened with the Cowboys and the Giants last year for Odell, it was the same kind of thing. We were the sweepstakes, right? Neither team got him, so neither team wanted him. So yeah, I mean that's what happened last year. Now you're doing a similar thing here with Darius Leonard between us and the Eagles. That's official. It's official.
So, anyway, back to you, my love.
So, yeah, as we get back to the Cowboys, this upcoming game, let's focus on that. So, we discussed a lot about Darius Leonard, and we heard from Jerry Jones. We heard from, of course, the big bubble over there, Mike McCarthy. So, Darius Leonard, hopefully we'll see him back in Dallas in a couple of days. That's where we stand. We'll, of course, update you, if anything, on how the meeting went with the Eagles tomorrow. But that's tomorrow. Today, it's about the Cowboys and how they're preparing for this Seattle game. And, something about Seattle, you got to remember, the GM for Seattle came from Green Bay, and he was big friends with the Big Bubble, with Mike McCarthy. Seahawks GM, his name is John Schneider. We talked about him in the past. He introduced, this is how close they are. He introduced Mike McCarthy to his wife, Jessica. Mike McCarthy, he did speak earlier today, and he said he wishes John all the best in every game except Thursday against the Cowboys. And obviously,
I love that.
We know that. Now, McCarthy also said this about the Seahawks. Coming up, listen, we're going to focus here on the Seahawks and their defense, our offense versus their defense. But McCarthy said this in general, quote, "We've played them a couple of years ago, so we've really got to stay in tune with what they have put on tape. We played them in the preseason as well, but that's different as far as it pertains to matchups." We're going to talk about some of those matchups today, Mr. McCarthy. He also said this, quote, "It'll start out with our run defense being challenged. When they line up with the ball, they run the ball. I think both teams take a lot of pride in how we play. We're looking at this as it's going to be an extremely physical, active football game." So physical, active. He said, quote, "They do a good job of taking the ball away. They are higher. They're definitely above average in turnover differential as far as getting that ball on defense." And he said, "And it's how they go about it. We need to protect the ball at all costs, and we need to take it away ourselves on defense. And we know the type of football that they like to play defensively. So we're looking at this as an excellent, excellent opportunity." And I'll explain why the Cowboys should have an upper hand against this Seattle defense, because exactly what McCarthy's saying. The type of football they play defensively is an advantage to the Cowboys. McCarthy's saying that this is an excellent, excellent opportunity. Cowboys are chomping at the bit here, it seems like, to get in this game against the Seahawks and see if we can really take advantage of their weaker defense. We'll talk about that today. But let's talk. He talked about a physical game. We got to talk about the physicality, when it comes to the injury list right now and the injured players. So, as of now, again, McCarthy, today was I don't know, I'm trying to think, it was a walkthrough today as well, guys. It was a jog practice, similar today, guys. So keep that in mind, guys. The Cowboys did not officially practice it was a Friday practice, like a walkthrough or a jog through. We had one like that on Monday as well. So we really haven't had many injury lists or practice lists these last 3 days or 2 days. Tomorrow will be the final list, the designation for the actual games. We'll find out what goes on tomorrow there.
Yeah, remember, today is technically more like a Friday.
Actually, it's a Friday or Thursday? My
Friday.
fault.
Because tomorrow would be Saturday.
True. So the Friday, again, it's a walkthrough, but it's not really a Friday when it comes to the announcement of the game designations, who's going to play or not. That's tomorrow, actually. So the way this came down, guys, unfortunately, when you looked at the practice today or the walkthrough, Micah Parsons was not there on the field. And the reasoning was an illness. He is sick. Micah Parsons, again, listed on the injury report. Doesn't mean he's out, guys. Remember, especially when you hear sick or someone's sick, Micah being the person in this case, it usually just means a day on this list or two, and then they're ready to go. So no fear of him missing the game. But he did not practice today because of an illness. Again, today is like a Friday in a normal practice week. So the Cowboys have their STAA program, which is a non-traditional. It is a non-traditional practice. Tomorrow is more of a practice heading into Thursday, in that game against Seattle. So tomorrow is a bigger practice, even though it's a day before the actual game, which of course is at night. So that pushes it for why they can practice tomorrow early and make it a little more rougher, so to speak, a little more of a mock game walkthrough rather than a jog through, right? So the designations will be made tomorrow, and it's very important to note because now it's not 2 days. If the designation is Friday, you have Saturday to kind of elevate guys and do some changes, and then Sunday's your game. Now you have the game designations tomorrow and then the game on Thursday. So there's not really a chance for that little middle ground there. So for the Cowboys and their injury report, not many changes, but there were good changes, except for Micah Parsons added to the injury report with an illness. He did not practice today. The good news is Tyrus Wheat with the concussion and Jaron Kearse with his back injury were both upgraded to full practice. That means that it looks like Tyrus Sweet's going to play, or at least be okay. He's coming out of the concussion protocol. And most importantly, J-Ron Curse. J-Ron Curse has been fully upgraded right now to full practice. Did not miss it. That is great news. Dante Fowler, he still has that illness. He's still sick. I'm sure he gave it to Micah. Dante Fowler is still not practicing with that illness. Rico Dowdle had the ankle. 2 days in a row, guys, he's limited, which we kind of always seen him kind of managed properly there. I'll go through a couple other names in a minute because first, we got Jason Renfro dropping that $5 on it.
Woo!
The $5 holler on the man, Jason Renfro. What did the man say?
He said, "She-Girl's clock strikes midnight and Cinderella's story ends. Starting with the 40 whiners and then followed by us in a search for 6 and beyond."
Hell yeah. So hopefully
Go Cowboys.
That's what, again, we want the Niners to win on Sunday. First, we got to win. Niners can beat the Eagles on Sunday. We'll take it from there. If we could beat the Eagles, we're tied in record. They got us on tiebreaker with 4 games to go. That's what we're looking at, right, Jason? So first step is us win. Second step is Niners win. We take the Eagles. We have to hope the Eagles lose one more game. Things will be changed at that point if that happens. Too bad they couldn't lose to the Chiefs and the fucking Bills, though, right? Well, that's our fault. We lost to the Niners, the Cardinals, and the Eagles, so that's the reason why that's like that. Much love, Jason Renfro, taking Mary Alvarez to 94 points. And I'll update the board. I think Jason Renfro might have jumped someone. I know he's about 5 or 6 away from another raffle entry, somewhere in that range. Much love to Jason, and go Cowboys. So you see Micah Parsons up there, physical game, but he's on the sick. So is Dante Fowler. Talked about Rico Dowdle with his ankle. He was limited in practice, the only limited player. And then everybody else who was full, guys, like I told you. Hendershot's still full. He's been full practice for 3 weeks, the guy. You got Mozzie Smith, full practice for him today. And, you had 2 upgrades, like I said, Tyrus Sweet with the concussion and J-Ron Curse with the back injury, both upgraded to full practice. So, great news for the Cowboys. And again, worth noting.
I want to knock on wood, but I'm just saying, we're getting towards the end of that stretch of the, 3 games in a row in a short period of time. This is like the last one here on the docket in that shorter stretch, and then we get mini bye there with the 10 days before our next one. So this is huge.
Yeah,
the fact that we managed to make it out of 2 of these 3 games as unscathed as we have. Huge credit to McCarthy and our front office staff and the strength and conditioning team, and basically whoever it is whose job it is to sit there and crunch the numbers and figure out how do we avoid injuries here.
Yeah, just again to reiterate it again, even though it's a Friday type of day, it's not the game designation day. That's tomorrow for this Thursday games. So tomorrow we'll get the final rulings, I would say, on guys like Rico Dowdle, on Dante Fowler, and on, of course, the great Micah Parsons. So we'll get those 3 guys kind of figured out for sure tomorrow. I believe all 3 will be good for the game. And we'll have a great, knock on wood, healthy group of guys here. And then after this game, the Cowboys can, I think after the game, we have still till Sunday to move up Hendershot so we don't lose him for the year. So he might not play this game, but he'll be moved up after this game, in my opinion, by Friday or Saturday. I think Hendershot gets moved to the official roster, and we'll have to find someone either to move to IR or to cut from this team. So we'll see what happens there. But that's the injury update across the board for our Cowboys. What about the Seattle Seagulls, the Sea Chickens, whatever you want to call these punk motherfuckers? Whatever you call them, that's what I'm calling them. And how their injury situation is going right now. The Seahawks had only 3 players that missed practice on Tuesday, similar to us, guys. The main guy that missed practice for the Seahawks was their running back, Kenneth Walker III. So other guys that missed the practice was Phil Haynes, their starting guard, and D. Eskridge, a receiver. Now, Kenneth Walker is the main guy we're talking about here. Walker is their starting running back. He's dealing with the oblique injury that forced him to exit Week 11 against the Rams, kept him out of the Thanksgiving game against the Niners last Thursday. According to Pete Carroll, quote, this was today, he's going to go into this game in question. There will be some questions there. I don't think it sounds like Kenneth Walker is going to play this game. Now, I also want to throw in there that they had their starting guard, Phil Haynes, dealing with a toe injury. He's kept them out of the last 2 practices. Not looking good for him if he cannot practice tomorrow. D. Eskridge, third player held out from the Seahawks practice today. Rib injury, limited him on Monday, and then stopped him from practicing today. So it sounds like D. Eskridge will not play. He's de-escalating. on the injury thing. He limited to not practicing. Not good for Eskridge to play against the Cowboys. Derek Young, Leonard Williams, defensive lineman, and Will Dissly, tight end, all returned to practice as limited participants today. They were not practicing yesterday. Today they were limited, which means that all three of them will probably play. Leonard Williams, the best of the bunch here, formerly of the Giants and the Jets, he has an ankle injury, but he's trending positively to play the Cowboys on Thursday. According to Carroll, quote, he worked on this day, so it's really a good sign when he was asked about him. So I'm expecting these guys are all limited. They're going to probably end up playing. In my mind, that's already a done deal. Another guy that's important, a guy who was limited yesterday on Monday's practice, Abraham Lucas, coming off of the Hendershot IR, the 21-day deal. He was limited, but was fully participating in practice today. So Abraham Lucas, he is a guy that's going to probably be out there, give him a big boost at the right tackle spot for the Seahawks. Anthony Bradford, another player of theirs, they're fully participated on Tuesday despite having some knee injuries as well. Lucas, though, going back to him, right tackle, has been out since being injured week 1. But his recovery process is going according to plan. According to Carroll, quote, Abe had a good week. Everything is kind of on schedule for him playing as we've planned it some time ago, aiming for this week, and he did his part. But he did say he's still determined. He's still determined a little later if he can play on Thursday. But again, according to Carroll, the return is imminent for him. I don't care if he returns next week. I just need to know if he's going to return this week. And if he does, it's going to be, you're going to have a little tougher matchups there on the offensive line. Still should not stop the number 1 rated defense. All they're going to get is maybe another pressure or two less because this guy's playing there. So again, that's the injury situation there. Now, I listen, I'm going to talk about the offense a little bit here. I'm sorry, I guess I don't think you have anybody that spoke defensively today, did you? You did have a couple of guys that did speak defensively. So I'll bring that up in a minute when we get to the defensive side of things. But first, we get to this game here, baby. And let's start talking about because again, we're going to talk a little more about the Seagulls here in a minute. But I want to talk about the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, just for a second here, because that's our opponent in basically 2 weeks from now, right? This week, like Jason Renfro said, the Niners, are playing the Eagles. We're hoping the Niners pull out that win against Philly. But the fact that Philadelphia is 10-1, and they're also at home as an underdog right now. Right now they're underdogs. I think it's a three-point spread right now. The Niners are favored in Philly. This is the first time this has happened in the Super Bowl era that a team 10-1 is the underdog by 3 points at home. It's a crazy thing, right? That means that home, that means that they are not that, even though people know they're 10-1, there's just something still not there for them to say that this is an elite. They're a great team, but they're not an elite team that can just.
It still feels like there's like one little something not quite.
I hope it's not Leonard.
There. That's my fear because it seems like these types of midseason moves end up being not so much the missing piece, but one of the bigger contributing factors to some of the things they were missing before, which, again, either way adds up to a team that we don't want looking better.
I just want Darius Leonard in coverage. If he goes to the Eagles, when we see him next week, let him be in coverage. We'll tear him apart there. So, again, when you look at the odds, that's the Eagle game, right? For the Niners. In 2 weeks, we get the Eagles. They already have the first opening odds in that game. So when you look at the early odds right now from DK Sportsbook for the Week 13 matchup against the Eagles and the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium, at the moment the Cowboys are also favored by 2.5 points. So we're favored by 2.5 points against the Eagles. They're 10-1 right now, currently. And this week the Niners are favored by 3 points in Philly against a team, again, guys, that's 10-1. The Eagles win, they're 11-1. They might be closer, but it looks like we're still favored to win this game against the Eagles. We shall see what happens. But hey, odds are odds. The point is the Eagles are underdogs right now for the next 2 weeks, and they have 10 wins and 1 loss. Just shows you. Now, back to these Toucan Sam Eagles. Looking at our offensive stats and our defensive stats versus these Seahawks, look at their offense. The Seahawks offense. They're scoring only 20.8 points a game. Our defense allowing 16.8. 4 points less than what they're used to. So, and remember, guys, they haven't scored 20 points in 4 straight games, I think. So, the Seahawks are right now suffering in a big way. Rushing yards for the Eagles, only 95.8. Even though they can run, they're not very good at it. While the Cowboys are allowing 109 rushing yards a game. We got to buckle down on these Seahawks to slow them down. The passing yards through Geno Smith and a broken offensive line, at least that's what it was before they're playing us. They might be a little better now. 221.8 yards per game, nothing great, while our pass defense is only allowing 167 yards per game. So again, we should lock this team down to a 200 or less. Then you look at the the turnover differential for the Seahawks. They're +2. Our Cowboy team is +7 on turnover differential. And when you look at the total yards allowed on defense, we are only allowing a total of 276.3 yards on defense there, with our defense. So our defense is locking shit down. We talked about the defense in detail yesterday. We'll touch on it a little bit today, but today's about our offense versus this Seattle defense. So when we flip it around the other way, the Cowboys are currently scoring 31.5 points per game. By the way, in case you're wondering, that's number 1 in the NFL. We're the highest scoring points per game team currently in the NFL, which is insane where we were at the first 5-6 weeks of the season.
It's crazy to think about, but I mean, I know you mentioned this, I think it was yesterday or something like that, but like our point differential right now is something
we're like
insane.
Way above everybody else. Also, when you're looking at the Seahawks, how much do they allow on their defense? They allow almost 23 points a game. You add in there another touchdown, and I mean we got this is a touchdown heavy lead over this defense versus our offense, at least with the stats. When you look at our rushing yards per game, we're running for 115 yards per game. They are allowing 117 yards per game, so we should be running for that same number more or less. We're throwing for 262 yards per game, and they're allowing 230 yards per game. So we should go over that number as well. We should go over 260. So we should be able to throw against this defense. We should be able to run against this defense. But they do get turnovers. They do get turnovers. They get turnovers, and they get and again, so do we though. So do we.
So
again, go ahead.
No, I wanted to read a comment or two here in the chat. SnugX, shout out to the sponsor of the weekend. Cash App King respectively saying we got to stop them from getting in the end zone.
Well, that's always the rule, right? Agree with. They don't get in the end zone very often. They haven't scored a touchdown. Basically,
outscore them too, right?
Basically, they didn't score a touchdown for almost 2 full games on offense. They have a pick 6 and the first drive against the Rams 2 weeks ago. That's it. After that, they haven't scored one offensive touchdown.
So GM saying over under 3 total turnovers. I mean, if you mean like throughout the game.
You talking about only with the Seahawks?
I think I'll take the under.
I mean, we'll talk
That's
about
a tough one.
But they try to get the ball out, and so do we. I think it's over. I think it's an over number there. So when you're looking, again, at our defense versus their offense, we should have them pretty much locked down. Pretty much, again, you know how this defense plays, unfortunately, they play slow. They let the teams get those third down conversions. We got to stop that shit. But when you look at our offense, baby, and that's what we're going to talk about a lot today, we are number 1 in offense when it comes to points scored per game, 31.5. The closest team to us is the Miami Dolphins, a whole 1.5 behind us. That's a lot when it comes to this. So the Dolphins have 30.8 points per game. The Eagles, 28.5. The Niners, 28.5. And the Bills, 27.3. So we are by far, the best offense that is around right now, the hottest offense, I think. Again, we're playing a lesser team, so I understand that. When you flip it over, we talked about the Seahawks yesterday on offense against our defense. If the Seahawks are making a big play, then you can bet that there's probably play action for the Seahawks. They use a lot of... remember what I'm saying. When you see it in the game and you see them be successful, don't say I didn't tell you. Don't forget that the Seahawks use a lot of play action. A lot of it. And when they do use a play action, they use it very heavy to open up things in the passing game for Geno Smith. The Seahawks are 4th in the league when it comes to play action usage. They're the 4th best, the 4th most used play action team in the league. So that means the Cowboy linebackers have to be on the ball this game. They cannot take that extra step forward. And they fools them on that run. They got to go back in coverage. So that's going to be major this week for the Cowboy defense. We talked about our defense versus their offense yesterday. A little tidbit to throw in there. I know that we also have, some of our defensive players are kind of showing out there when it comes to, defensive player of the year. One of those guys, of course, is Micah Parsons, right? when you look at the odds to win Defensive Player of the Year on Monday evening, it was Myles Garrett 130 to 1 and Micah Parsons 160 to 1 with TJ Watt at 250.
All right.
And by the way, DaRon Bland was at 2,500 at that point. That was yesterday. Today, the same odds. Myles Garrett 160 to 1 odds. Micah Parsons 160 to 1 odds.
All right.
Neck and neck, Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett, first and second. Now, TJ Watt stayed at 250 to 1. But DaRon Bland was at 25 to 1. He's now at 1,100 to 1. Literally more than half sliced down. Yeah. More than half sliced away there from the man.
Of one pick six. I mean, hey, one or two more, and this won't even be a discussion.
He might be MVP of the. He might be the MVP of the NFL if he gets another 2 or 3 of these pick sixes and shit. If he gets another couple of picks, definitely Defensive Player of the Year. Him and Micah are going to be at the top of this list. So we know. Here's the thing about DaRon Bland. Let me just give you why he won't win it right now. The major awards are narrative driven. And DaRon Bland, not being a household name the entire season. He's a household name after Halloween, after we went to that game.
Yeah.
And he's had another pick six.
Yeah, until then, unless you were a hardcore Cowboy fan, probably wouldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Some Cowboy fans didn't know who the hell he was still after he played last year. We do here. You guys do as well in the chat. But it's not fair that because he hasn't been known as much for half the year. He has been known. The fact that he has been known is going to hurt him in the voting for this Defensive Player of the Year.
He's a bit of a dark horse, late arrival to the scene type of thing.
But another reason why he hasn't, he's at 11. He went up a lot, guys. He more than doubled his odds. But the reason he's still at 1,000 to 1, while T.J. Watt, Micah, and Myles Garrett are 250 and 160 to 1 odds. Why? Because it's a major assumption. This is what you got to assume with defensive backs always. Assumption he's going to taper off. This has got to be assumed.
I know.
Because pass rushers like Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, and Micah Parsons, why don't they taper off? Because the pass rushers, they keep going. The pass rushers don't stop getting sacks. They continue getting sacks and keep going throughout the year. Now, DaRon Bland, getting picks, very difficult. And again, if DaRon Bland makes another play or 2 or 3 big plays in the last 6 weeks of the season, you will see. You said it, baby. His odds will take a huge jump as a Defensive Player of the Year. So, just wanted to break that down defensive. We talked about the defense yesterday. We talked about their offense. I just wanted to clear up the DaRon Bland talk there. But let's flip it over real quick, baby. But sorry, before we flip it over, let's talk about 2 guys that are playing that linebacker spot. We just talked about the play action. We just talked about how important it's going to be for these linebackers to be crisp, to be on their game, their A game. Both are our linebackers, Damone Clark and, of course, Marquise Bell. They spoke today. And they're going to have a major, major role in slowing down the Seahawks running backs. To slow down, and I say running backs, so we don't know who's going to play yet. We talked about, Kenneth Walker, number 9. Is he going to play? Question mark. He don't look like he's going to play. That means rookie Zach Charbonnet is going to play. You got to look to stop these running backs, slow them down. So these 2 guys have their work cut out. What do they say, baby?
So, first of all, Damone Clark, he did attribute his, very successful performance, and improvement this year, and just his opportunities and everything to God, saying, quote, "It's God, honestly. It started off slow, but God won't give us no more than we can handle or bear. I just thank God to allow me to continue to get better and push each week. That's my only goal, to get better."
And so he's been doing it, I think, every single week. I don't know if it's God, but I know it's Damone Clark. He's putting in the work, and Damone Clark's, is looking better every week, getting crisper, and that's what we need to see this week in Seattle.
He also added in there, quote, "I'll be real with you. Bell motivates me. We compete with one another. We compete within the game, and that's the fun part about it. We just go out there and feed off of each other and keep going."
That's
so,
nice
like
to
I
hear.
said,
Nice
some
to hear.
friendly competition. This
Love
isn't
it.
the first set of players that we've seen kind of competing amongst each other, and not in a mean-spirited way, in a genuine, the same way you might compete with your brother, right? You still really, really want to win, even if you're happy they're doing good sometimes too, right? So, anyway, that was literally it from Damone Clark, and he kind of spoke collectively for him and Bell.
So it's just one person
Yes.
that spoke. sorry guys, no Marquise Bell. I was reported wrong there, but Damone Clark and Marquise Bell, they're showing how they're going to be, they're growing at that linebacker position, and they're going to be needed extra against these crying fucking Seahawks.
Yeah, and you also kind of get a sense of, Marquise Bell, obviously he's looked really good these last few weeks stepping into that role, but it sounds like part of that reason, outside of just his own talent and Quinn's usage, it sounds like it's also him and Damone Clark pushing each other as well. So it's just nice to see, and you can't deny the development for both of those guys at the linebacker position.
I agree, and they're both so important this year. Who would have thought we would have lost LVE, DeMarvin Overshown, and we still would be holding it down at the linebacker spot with those two guys, and of course Rashaan Evans, and hey, maybe Darius Leonard. Who knows? Yeah. So I mean, I know that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, J-Ron Curse and Tony Pollard both commented on the same thing. Just throwing it out there because obviously offense and defense, they usually don't talk about exactly the same thing, but both of them had words to say about this one topic that we've been hearing now for the last few weeks, right? Oh, the Cowboys only beat crappy teams. We can't beat good teams. So how good are we in reality when the only teams we beat are quote-unquote bad teams?
Teams
now,
that are under 500 right now, the teams we beat. Yeah.
Tony Pollard, it feels one way about it, saying, haven't really bought into the noise like that. The way we're looking at it, we're locked into one game at a time and who we got next. So, he does not give a shit. Just throwing that out there. But Marquise Bell feels a little bit...
J-Ron Curse.
J-Ron Curse. I don't know why I keep saying... Sorry, we just talked about Marquise Bell. But J-Ron Curse obviously had something a little bit different to say. He had to defend his Cowboy honors, so to speak, adding in there. In this league, it's hard to get wins. We've got 8 of them. I'll take our 8 wins. You say we haven't beaten a team with the winning record? That's true. But I know the type of team that we are. We've got this stretch coming up, and we can change the narrative. You see it there. The harder teams, like I said, the next 5 weeks, it's time. But, J-Ron Curse also, I thought he was going to add in there something I always think about. When these teams that we played, and they're all, under 500 in winning percentage, we had something to do with that too. Keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Some of these teams when we played them were not under 500. Now they are. So, it's the way it is. But I don't really care about that as long as the Cowboys beat the tough teams. That's all I care about, and it's coming up now, and it's coming up in the playoffs. So good to know there from both those guys. I don't know if there's anything else. Curse added in there as well. What motivates me is I have kids at home to feed. We have goals that we want to achieve, and winning these games is a part of that goal. But I could really care less than anybody says we haven't beaten a team with the winning record or whatever.
Yeah, so he's standing up hard for
there's
that.
Lots of teams that beat teams with the winning record last year, but they didn't win a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So beating teams with a winning record in the regular season and not doing it in the postseason doesn't mean anything.
It's meaningless.
I'm more worried about stacking success and building what we need to build on when this thing really gets rolling. So I love that because, again, it's an acknowledgement of the fact that, we still have to do this in the postseason, right? But to completely dismiss everything that our Cowboys are doing right now during the season, or to act like this type of success doesn't directly lead to the rest of the success that we're hopefully going to see. Come on, guys. Let's be real, right? And thank you, Curse, for like I said, defending the Cowboy honor there.
I understand what he's saying, but he's saying what we all say. It doesn't matter if you beat these teams in the regular season. When you get to the playoff, you got to stack wins. You got to, like he said, you got to stack wins. You got to get your confidence up to get ready to get into those real games in the playoffs. You got to try to get the best placement and seeding you can to help your team. But in the end, you got to beat these good teams in the playoffs, or else who cares if you beat them in the regular season? And I agree 1,000% with that.
I love the comments in the chat. Asmodeus said, hell, when we beat the tough teams, they'll find something else to rag about.
Of course. They'll move the goalpost.
Loon Santa's Pale Moon, much love to you, saying all the winning teams have only beaten losing teams, so that discounts the Eagles, the Niners, the Dolphins, the Chiefs.
They never bring that up, though. Never bring it up about the Cowboys. It's always we beat the shitty teams. I mean, even though we beat some bad teams, these Chiefs and Saints, the Chiefs and the Eagles and the Niners, they pretty much beat mostly shitty teams as well. Mostly.
Yeah, Justin D saying, sometimes I forget we got bandwagon and fake as fuck fans too.
There's a lot of them in Big D because we got the most fans in the world. So, of course, you're going to have a higher percentage of dipshits. Now, before we flip it over to the offensive side.
Make sure to take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere. at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below. Speaking of hopping, take your chance, guys. Remember, we're doing this all the way up till Eagle Week. Have this awesome special raffle, thanks to the man, the Lunatic, happening right now, guys. You drop $10, bam, automatically entered, and that is cumulative, right? And speaking of cumulative, your entries do stack, so every $10 is an additional entry. Membership also has its perks, an additional bonus entry, and 4 awesome prizes up for raffle.
Yeah.
Of course, we have the Cowboy car package here, showing some Cowboy representation on the road and your wheels, right?
Repping it in your car.
So, we like to call it Cowboy gear gifting here. So you have a customizable shirt with any number, any name on the back, and, of course, that Micah
embroidered signature
hat.
Yeah, one of a kind, brought to you by the man, the Lunatic.
And speaking of one of a kind, guys, as long as it's available, there's 2 lucky winners here of the first and second place, respectively, right?
Yes.
Of the jersey of your choice, as long as it's available, any player, style, and size. So can't wait to see who the 4 lucky winners are going to be. Yeah,
this is going to be done on the halftime of the Eagle game, not the Seahawks game, the Eagle game on December 10th. But you have time to get in. Again, first place, sewn and stitched jersey. Second place, sewn and stitched jersey. We got it. You got it. If it's in stock, if it's available, there's a lot available. Trust me. That's the first and second place. You can pick the other ones though. If you decide you want to, you have enough jerseys, you want to get something else, you can. First and second place, we told you. Third place, this package here of the customizable shirt and that fantastic Micah hat. Fourth place, the car package. All extra first place is the man, the Lunatic, for making this thing happen. Much love to him. Appreciate the love you give to the channel and give back to the family here. And as always, the Lunatic, go Cowboys! Appreciate everybody that's on the board tonight, leaderboard and such, but also on the raffle leaderboard there when it comes to, I have it behind the scenes, but we got people, adding, like Hannibal King has got two of those memberships, and Marissa Sparkle has 4. I'm sorry, memberships, the raffle entries. When you have, like Marissa has a star level, she's in with an extra bonus raffle entry. She's got 5. Mary Alvarez, Jason Renfro, Skeptical, on and on. Appreciate everybody in the house here. Stanley Smith, everybody here repping that star for everything. Which reminds me, I got to update the board right now. So take another question or two, and we're going to talk a little offense here, our offense versus their defense as we come to a close here tonight on My Cowboys Family.
So, and by the way, Jason Renfro also reminding everyone, in case you didn't hear it from earlier this week, J. Ron Curse did say there's a 200% chance that he's playing this week. So again, full expectation is that Curse will be rejoining us out there on the field.
Again, today he was full practice today, just so everyone knows.
And I also wanted to reiterate, since I saw a few comments about it too, I know Micah Parsons was on the injury report with that illness, but that doesn't mean he's out for the game. I do want to clarify that because there was a little bit of confusion there, I think, towards the beginning of our stream. So that just means that he missed practice today. Yeah, there's still obviously a chance that he's going to be A-okay. And we've seen before the players sometimes end up sick either the day before the game or a day or two before the game, and they end up still playing, even if maybe they look like more 90% than 100%. So
I made sure
Micah took too much C4 again.
I made sure to tell them, during the injury breakdown that Micah was, just sick. And there's a high chance he's going to play this game. There's no worry in that right now from Dallas.
Yeah, I just wanted to extra confirm because that popped into my head when I read that comment there about Curse as well. So, let me see. Loon Santos also saying, let's be honest though. The ones who are saying the Cowboys have only beat up on bad teams are ignorant, casual fans who get their narratives from the sports opinion clickbait media.
Oh, trust me, I know. No, it's funny because
collective clickbait media hive mind.
There is some truth to some of those things about the teams we played or whatever, but it's the context that's taken out. We take it both. We accept that some of these teams are not that good. Doesn't mean that we're not good. That's where the narrative goes, which the direction people want.
Exactly.
Oh, look, they have this to pick on. Pick on it, and that's the reason why the Cowboys are good, not because they actually are a good team.
Yeah, teams have been beating crappy teams since the beginning of football. Time. But teams are not beating these bad teams the way that we are beating these bad teams. We are doing it in a record-setting type of way.
And I love it.
That's all.
But we got to do this against the real teams, the better teams. And when we do that, I think you have more of that feeling, that excitement that the Cowboys, had in the 90s when we had that kind of team that brought it every week, every month, every year, every season. of greatness and excellence and perfection. So we got to see that from this team. They're not there yet, but they're getting there. They're trying to get there. Much love, though.
Thank you, Jason Renfro, there with $1.
Yes.
Holler, a Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Much appreciated, of course.
Much love, Jason Renfro, as he's gotten married down to 93 points on the stream boss. Now.
Oh, yeah, Lost in Treasures said his tummy just hurts.
Yeah, he's, Dante Fowler is sick, 2 days. Hope Micah's back tomorrow. Fowler should be back tomorrow. And Micah, if he's not back tomorrow, he's limited. Should be good. He'll probably be questionable, but he should be good for the game on Thursday. Now, flipping it from our defense to our offense, guys. And I got to talk about a couple of guys here. Let me just go through some lists because we're going to be playing Geno Smith, right? First of all, Dak, of course, he's nominated for the FedEx Air Player of the Week. If you see the other people there, Jalen Hurts, I forgot who the other guy is. There's no way he should lose this. I'm pretty sure Dak is gonna get this victory when it comes to the Air Player of the Week. So that's a quarterback they choose for this week. So we'll see what happens with that poll, or that not poll, but the results of that of that weekly award. But who's winning the most interceptions thrown this year? Right now is a tie for first place with the Bills' Josh Allen and the Commanders' Sam Howell. They each thrown 13 interceptions already. Patriots, Mac Jones has 12. And then you have a bunch of guys with 10 for tied for third place. Jalen Hurts, Tua, Jordan Love, and Josh Dobbs. In fourth place, you got Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo in 6 games. All of them with 9 interceptions thrown. And then tied for fifth, Bryce Young, Jared Goff, Desmond Ridder, and our opponent this week, Geno Smith, has thrown 8 interceptions, tied for fifth in the league. So, again, guys, our defense going to have to come up, big against Geno Smith and maybe force a turnover or so in the air. We'll see. But who's not on this list? Do you guys know who's not on this list when it comes to throwing interceptions?
I mean, I did not hear Ryan Dakota Prescott's name anywhere on that list. Is that correct?
Yeah, me neither. Interesting. So he's got 6. He's way off this list. But the truth is here, guys, when you look at Dak, Jerry Jones spoke today, and he said that this is the best he's seen Dak Prescott play. And Jerry Jones gave a lot of props to Mike McCarthy. And again, if you guys have been listening to MCF, I mean, I love Dak, what he's done, but the reason we've seen Dak do this, it's not surprising to me. Yeah. I know Dak's damn good. It's about finding the right offensive scheme that goes along with Dak Prescott, and that's why he's giving credit to McCarthy, and that's why I'm giving the most credit this year on offense to McCarthy, because McCarthy is devising the way to get all these guys on track and get the most out of Dak's skill set. Now, I know you have the full article on what Aaron Rodgers said about the great Dak Prescott. I say the great Dak Prescott because Aaron Rodgers, great himself, today spoke on what was the show he was on? His buddy's show. He's always on there. McCaffrey show there. And he spoke about quarterbacks he's really interested in. So maybe what did Aaron Rodgers have to say about Dak Prescott this year?
Saying, quote, Dak Prescott has become one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. He's really playing the position, and he's using his cadence beautifully.
Here we go. Sorry. Okay.
I love the way he's playing, and he's really impressing me. He's playing the position in a really impressive way. I love the way he's playing, like really playing. I'm not talking about just making good throws. I'm talking about it seems more rare that guys are actually really playing the position, where you're making the adjustments, you're handling everything at the line of scrimmage. I love it.
Now, I believe, some people really hate Aaron Rodgers. I'm not a big... Listen, I hate Aaron Rodgers when he played with the Packers, and I'm not a fan of him because of what he's done to us. But I actually like the guy outside of that. He's a little crazy with some of his beliefs. But either way, it is very impressive to hear Aaron Rodgers say this, again, just in general, right? But specifically...
Yeah, he didn't have to.
Yeah, but specifically about Dak Prescott, who is coached by his former coach, Mike McCarthy. And we all know, everybody knows that McCarthy's taken over play calling this year. And that's made Dak... I don't say better, because I think Dak's always been very good. I think it made Dak... he unlocked consistency with Dak. We got to see it against good teams, but he did it against some good teams already. McCarthy, the scheme after the bye week, unlocked the potential of Dak Prescott and this offense.
We give a lot of credit to Quinn for being creative and using our guys in the best positions and, not being afraid of moving guys around or doing these things. I don't think we give McCarthy enough credit for doing basically the same thing but on offense now, in the sense that I think he's just found a way to build a scheme where Dak's natural inclinations shine through. And when Dak is doing what he's naturally already good at, everything else comes so much easier. And it's clear because he said it now like 4 different times throughout the season. He's never felt more comfortable on this Cowboy offense. You know, the stats and the way that our team is playing clearly shows that, again, that statement seems to be backed up and true, right? We've never seen this team, you know, under the Dak Prescott era play as smoothly, as concisely as they have been here these last few weeks. And I say concise in the sense of, like, you know, again, just a good, clean offense. Yes. Like, it's been much better.
Oh, he missed here and there, Dak, but it's going to happen. He made 2 touchdowns the first 2 plays of the game against Washington. But look, is it Aaron Rodgers is pumping up Dak Prescott for no reason? Or are the numbers kind of backing it up? Let me explain. Dak Prescott, right now, let me put it this way. Since the change of offense, since McCarthy's change of the offensive scheme, Dak now has, since week 6, an 80.7 quarterback rating, an 80.7 QBR. Just so you see the context here, he's at 80.7. No other quarterback is over 68. He is 12 points quarterback rating points better than number 2. That since week 6, not the whole season. But the point I'm trying to make is since week 6, even we played the Eagles and we played a couple of good defenses there, Dak Prescott has been comfortably the best quarterback in football for half of a season. That's the fact of the situation. Whether the teams you don't like that he played too easy, whatever, I don't care. But the point is that against whoever he played, he's been
quarterbacks against the bad teams were not looking the way that Dak did.
Dak Prescott, just on Dak's side of things, best quarterback in the NFL since week 6. Just saying, that's the way it looked. Now, what about the full season? Dak's full season splits. Listen to these numbers. Ahead of this Thursday night game, he's number 1 in quarterback rating. This is for the whole year versus man. He's first in quarterback rating versus the blitz. So versus the man versus blitz, he's second in quarterback rating under pressure. He's second in quarterback rating from the pocket. He's first in QBR outside the pocket, and he's first in quarterback rating on third downs. This is domination here. This is not for half the season. This is for the full season, the full split of the season with these numbers. Man, blitz. Against man coverage, against the blitz, outside the pocket and on third down, Dak Prescott is number 1 in the NFL. When you look at when he's under pressure or when he's in the pocket, he's number 2 in the NFL over the entire season, even his bad games to start off the first 5 games of the year, right? And I do know, I will say this again, I'll say it every single day, we do have to take note that there's 5 tough teams coming up on the schedule. Playoff teams, winning teams, whatever you want to call them. So the challenges, the biggest challenges, still await Dak Prescott this year. But he's been exceptional. He's been fantastic. And just so you guys know, during the bye week, after the San Francisco loss and the Charger win, after the bye week, Dak Prescott, we talked about this, baby. You talk about it all the time. He incorporated his mobility to run, and you said to run, and I've always said to extend plays. He's done both. He's running more and he's extending plays.
Both. It's just it's more about like what you and I don't want to say particularly focus on. It's just that I'm more always looking for Dak to, I don't want to say choose the run option. Like I said, it's more the things that we specifically focus on when we're looking at Dak Prescott and his motion, right? I'm looking more like the actual running his legs motion, and you're obviously looking at motion that extends plays type thing.
It's the same thing though, baby. I mean, the point is that he's running, he's going down the field sometimes he'll hang back, extend the play, and then throw it. Like there's a couple times this last game against the Commanders that I said just run, and you said no, he's got someone open, and he stopped and reset and threw. And so he extended the play. He used his legs to get out the pocket that was collapsing, and then run the ball down the field. That's the key, I think, to his passing. And then just to not making mistakes, you run when no one's open. You run for 3 yards and slide. I said that for years. That's great.
The difference maker.
Yeah, that is the difference maker in this offense from Dak's side. But that's not also there, baby, because that's what Dak did. McCarthy, he added pre-snap motion, and he increased the frequency of the pre-snap motion, snapping the ball while you're in motion. Those are the things that Dak cannot do. That's McCarthy included and instilled into the offense more and increased the frequency of motion. And it's working. It's helping. I don't think Dak's ever had an offense where he's had this much motion. And this is one of the biggest helpers of quarterbacks. It took 8 years for someone to fucking finally call this for Dak Prescott. Now he's getting it. Look at him. People talking MVP about Dak Prescott. I'm not saying that's where he's going to be. I'm just saying, imagine if we had more motion in year 2, 3, and 4 for Dak. Probably be a lot better at quarterback. Not just now, but also then. You know what I mean? So when you look at Dak Prescott, it's a combination of Dak's abilities and of Mike McCarthy. It's a hand in hand here. Dak running and looking to extend the play and running the ball a little bit, but Mike McCarthy putting in the motion, the bunch formations, the stuff that's really, the play action. That stuff has really helped this offense and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott said about Mike McCarthy's play calling, quote, "Yeah, I mean, he's definitely on fire. He's firing them off the call sheet, whether it be a run play action, whatever it is." Fantastic words from Dak. I love to hear that. Him giving credit to Mike McCarthy and the play calling. These are the main reasons why we're succeeding on offense.
Because there's no way around it. It is a huge factor. Huge factor.
And it's helped Dak be in the current MVP conversation right now. As we know, he's like 4th name on the list or whatever. That he'll be on that list, the top 2 or 3 by the end of these 4 or 5 games. If he continues to win games and the Cowboys continue to win games, and he'll be on this list. So we want to see him in the MVP race because that means we're winning. What did he say though about being in the MVP conversation? Dak Prescott.
It means I'm playing well. Simple as that. It's not really that important. I'm about one goal, and it's a big team goal. And I know if my name's in there, that means we're playing well. So that's great. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to build. I mean, being 8 years into this thing, it's about building and making sure we're getting better and better each and every week and getting hot right when we need to be.
I mean, again, I think he's looking at this properly. He is.
That last comment there caught my eye just because, again, hot right when we need to be. This is one of those points about December football that we've always kind of said. Our Cowboys have had other types of fantastic seasons and things like that, but again, it's a little bit different when you're playing hopefully some of your best football in December/January and you're able to physically, get through it as well, which so far, again, have done a pretty solid job of doing just that.
Now, we're talking here, okay, today is our offense versus, the Seattle defense. I'm going to break down the Seattle defense here really kind of quickly. But first, I want you to finish with the offense. Who else spoke today, baby? This is Dak Prescott from yesterday, but who spoke today? I think it was CD.
Yeah, we just have a quick little comment here by CeeDee Lamb, yeah. As far as, and he, of course, had to speak about Deron Bland, saying it's insane. Just being a competitor that he is and always looking to be better, I'm sure it's not going to stop. They keep trying him, he'll get another one. He picks it, he's looking to score 6.
Yeah, Deron Bland, Mr. Pick 6 here. Going for a 6th next time it's around here. So CeeDee Lamb speaking high marks, great talk there on Deron Bland. But now let's talk about our opponent. The Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, the Sea Chickens, whatever the fuck they're called. There they are. Let me just say a couple of things here, baby, real quick about their defense. Because we just talked about our offense. Their defense, they got Leonard Williams. He's kind of banged up, but he's going to be good to go at one end. And you got Mario Edwards Jr. on the other end, formerly of Tennessee. These guys are all right. I mean, again, Leonard Williams is very good, but Jaron Reed in the middle is one of the guys they brought back as a big nose tackle to kind of hold up 2 blocks at a time. Jaron Reed, number 90, one of their big guys in the middle there. You go to linebackers, Draymond Jones, number 55. He's the outside outside linebacker, along with Boye Mafe, who is also on the right. He's the right side linebacker, number 53. Both these guys, 55 and 53, are going to kind of come out the edge, blitzing, pass rushing, whatever it may be. While you have Jordan Brooks, who got a pick 6 against the Niners, and number 56, and the other inside linebacker. We talked about him a little bit yesterday. Fantastic, Bobby Wagner. Got to watch out for those guys. They're going to be trying to slow down that run game, even though they're not great at stopping the run. Those 2 guys are the main players there in the middle. And when you look at the defensive backs, the 5 guys in the backfield, Trey Brown at one corner, Tyreek Woolen on the other corner. He's their star at the cornerback spot, Tyreek Woolen. And then don't forget about rookie Devin Witherspoon. Witherspoon is a guy that is going to create I think he'll be creating some rookie problems for us in a way, like a guy we haven't seen before. Number 21, Witherspoon, the nickel cornerback. Big matchup. We'll talk about that a little more tomorrow. But his matchup against CeeDee Lamb, when CeeDee Lamb's in the slot, that's going to be one to watch. High draft pick, high potential for Witherspoon. Still a rookie. Still a fucking rookie. So as far as I'm concerned, I think we'll be okay to try to attack these Seahawks through the air. But you also have a couple safeties there too. Quandre Diggs, free safety with Julian Love. They're kind of switching in and out. And then you see him there, number 33, Jamal Adams, strong safety, who plays that hybrid linebacker. He's hurt us in the past with picks and shit, that he's hurt us with. So when you look at these guys, they have some names on this defense. Why are they putting it together? The other guys having this team backing up some of their guys: Adam Miles, Cameron Young, Darrell Taylor, John Radigan, Nick Belmore, formerly of the Lions, Derek Hall, Michael Jackson, formerly a Cowboy, Kobe Bryant, Artie Burns, formerly of Chicago. These are the guys they have to compete against our offense. So how is it going to break down? When you break down the Seattle Seahawks team, there's a different defense that people are used to. In this offseason, like I told you guys, they worked to beef up their defensive line, bringing back nose tackle Jaron Reed. And, of course, they got back Bobby Wagner as well in free agency. They drafted 5 defensive players in the draft. 5th overall pick. The 5th overall pick is that guy, number 21, Devon Witherspoon. And, again, he was the first cornerback drafted. So this guy ain't no joke. Devon Witherspoon looks like a little bit of a veteran player out there already, believe it or not. And, again, he primarily, let me stress this, plays in the slot. Plays in the nickel cornerback spot. And now he'll see a lot of CeeDee Lamb this game. He may be seeing a lot of him in this game. But I will say this. Witherspoon also gets moved by Seattle as an outside cornerback depending on the matchups. So it'll be interesting to see if he follows CeeDee Lamb, or are they going to let Tyreek Woolen go against CeeDee Lamb? We'll have to wait and see. Tyreek Woolen is an outside corner. So, again, he will not play the slot at all. So we'll have to see how they use Witherspoon versus our offensive weapons on the receiving side of things. Now, again, Witherspoon right now, guys, has played very well. Currently has the second best odds to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, number 21, don't say I didn't warn you. He's a feisty little player in there. He's the 5th drafted guy in the draft this year and the number 1 cornerback in the draft. You remember? So Witherspoon, keep your eyes on the spoon. Now, when you look at the defense and the moves they did to upgrade, again, Jaron Reed, Bobby Wagner, that's all 3 levels there. Jaron Reed, as the nose tackle, Wagner as the linebacker, run stop and linebacker. He can cover too. And then, of course, Witherspoon, they added him to the team as a cornerback in the back end there. But all these moves were to upgrade the defense. And so far, again, people say, has it worked yet? It has worked for Seattle. They've gotten better on defense, but they're not upgraded, I guess you could say. Their numbers are not as good as they hoped for. They thought they were going to get a bigger upgrade by adding Jaron Reed, Bobby Wagner, and Witherspoon to the defense. Now, listen, they're giving up the 11th most points per game right now. 11th most points per game given up by the Seahawks. Not very good. They also ranked 21st in defensive DVOA and 20th in EPA per play. This is very subpar for a team that's supposed to be improving on defense. So they have a lot of weaknesses on defense, even though they have good players they added. But here's the crazy part, though. All these things I said, no matter how low they sound, it's much better than last year for the Seahawks. That's why they have improved. Just haven't improved as much as they wanted to improve. They thought they would. So, again, better than last year, but not much better than last year. And now they have to face the Cowboy offense. Ripping defenses. Any defensive weakness you have, we've ripped it apart. And usually, even the Panthers, good defense, we still were able to not make any mistakes and be. They did a good job. They had the 4th ranked defensive pass defense in Carolina, but we were still able to do more than enough to win that game. Now I don't even know if these Seahawks are as good as the Panthers are when it comes to pass defense. But right now with Dak Prescott, red hot streak right now for him, and this offense with McCarthy kind of really surgically cutting apart opposing defenses. I know one thing. This defense that we're looking at with Seattle, the potential for the defense is observable. But Dallas is going to be a tough matchup for the Seattle defense that's trying to find their identity and continuously get better. So First things first, this defense, even though they got some, I'm telling you guys, they have some good names, they got some good players. The scheme is still trying to come together. They're having issues there, and they're just trying to put together a lot of new faces, a lot of young guys. And the Seahawks, here's the deal with the Seahawks that has been a problem for them. When they face good teams, for instance, our Cowboys would qualify as a good team. What can't they do, the Seahawks? What's the biggest issue? They have trouble stopping the run. This year, Seattle.
So that means good things, obviously, for Pollard and
possibly, but they got some good linebackers there, but yet they have trouble stopping the run. Right now, Seattle has faced four teams. The Lions, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Niners, who are currently in the playoff picture. In those matchups, these are good teams now, right? They're going to have us as a fifth. These playoff contending teams are averaging 181 rushing yards a game. Now, the Niners, they got some good running back, McCaffrey. The Lions, they got the rookie there, Gibbs. The Browns have a couple guys. The Ravens have a couple guys. But I'm just saying, there's not like they have the best running backs in the league other than McCaffrey on here. So 181 yards between these four good teams. We have to run block, and we will be able to get mucho yards against Seattle's defense. Overall, Seattle's defense has the sixth worst rush EPA in the NFL. Let's just say that's pretty fucking bad. They're really bad at stopping the run. And they've really struggled to stop the run, specifically, not just the whole year, but even more so in the last 5 games. Their last 5 games, they haven't been able to stop anything, guys. Since week 8, they've had the worst rushing EPA on defense in the NFL and the third worst rush SR in the NFL. It's just analytics. Basically, they're at the bottom of the pile the last 5 weeks. The whole season, they've been pretty bad, 20th and under. But when it comes to the actual run defense, analytically, horrible the whole year and horrible, even worse, the last 5 weeks. The Cowboys, I will say this, our Cowboys, when we talk about our run game, you said it, Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle. Don't forget Dak in the mix too. The Cowboys have gotten their running game going the last 3 games against easier teams. But the Cowboys right now have the NFL's 4th best rushing EPA, starting since week 10. And running back Tony Pollard currently right now, I would say, over his last 40 attempts, his last 40 runs, he's averaging 4.8 yards per carry. That's almost 5 yards a carry for Tony Pollard. That's a big increase to where he started up the first 5 and 6 games of the season. So Tony Pollard is looking much better, even though the numbers aren't going. He's not getting 100-yard games or anything, but he's looking a lot better per carry, per rushes. That's the important part. He might run 40 times, he'll get 150 yards, but if he's running 12 times and getting 70, that's pretty fucking good too. So the Cowboys right now are going to be able to build upon our recent success in the run game against the Seahawks, in my opinion. Very poor run game for the defense for them. And we should, I truly believe we should. I'm talking about Pollard and Rico Dowdle, and I'm sure I'll bring this up again tomorrow. We should rush for a combined over 150 yards between Rico and Tony Pollard as a team. All right? The Seahawks already allowed it 2 times this year, 150 yards or more against them. So we know the Niners, and I said all these good teams like the Lions, Browns, Ravens, and Niners, they've allowed, they've gotten over 100, they're averaging 181 yards against this defense on just those 4 games. So there's no way I don't think that the Seahawks are going to be able to slow down our run game, even if it's not the strongest thing. And I'm just adding in there, guys, we can beat them in the air, and we can beat them on the ground. I just think if we have a nice, balanced, pass first, run second offense, we'll be fine. We're going to be fine against this defense. No mistakes from Dak. No bad play calls from McCarthy. We should be good. Now, I'm going to finish up with this, though. When it comes to the defense, a couple last factors. They paid a lot of money for a lot of their guys. They spent a lot of money on defense for the Seahawks. And they're very average. That's just the way it's been all year. Outside... Now, again, you can say, well, that's because they're missing guys. They're injured. They're not. They only missed, listen to this, guys. Jamal Adams missed 4 games this year. 4 games Jamal Adams missed, who's one of their best players. And then they lost Uchenna Nosuwu. He had a season-ending pectoral tear in week 6. Outside of that, very few players have missed any time for Seattle. So it's not like they have a bad defense because they've been injured all year. You guys feel me on this? It's because they're just not that good. They have not been injured. The guys they put on the field and paid for are average, performing as a whole, average right now. And the biggest issues for them, when you look at inside the numbers, we've been breaking this down. The Seattle defense creates its own kind of lopsided snap count. Listen to this. This is about time of possession. They get fatigued. They cannot get other teams off the field on defense. Remember, we had that problem a little bit, allowing third downs. But, they cannot get...
We were getting close to that point, even in the Commanders game for a second there.
But you know what? We might be bad, but nobody is really, truly as bad as the Seattle Seahawks. One of the worst teams at forcing 3-and-outs this year. I think they're third worst, the Seattle Seahawks. They're the third. We're like 15th. So I'm just saying, even how bad we are, imagine a team a lot worse than us at getting out of third downs. We should be getting third downs, clipping and clipping and clipping. We're one of the best, like a top 3 team in getting third down conversions, and these are one of the worst, the Seahawks. So third downs.
To me, just lets me know that one or two good first downs. I mean, you got yourself a field goal pretty much every single time.
And again, you got to remember, it's not just the field goal; it's the fact that we're running the clock. They get fatigued when they let these third downs go. As we know, sometimes your defense gets tired. Which team is averaging the second most defensive snaps per game right now? We're talking about the more snaps from your defense, the more tired you're going to get in a game. The Seahawks are they have the second most defensive snaps in the league. Do you know what that means? Yeah, baby. I'm asking you.
But the Seahawks have the second most defensive snaps in the league?
Do you know what that means?
That they're out there quite a bit, right?
Damn
Their
right.
defense is out there a very long time. It means, offenses are obviously forcing them to make a more play, because they're out there more time.
Yeah, they're getting tired. They're getting fatigued. And offenses are converting.
That's what I'm saying. Offenses keep them out there on the field.
And they're converting third downs. Like I said, guys, one of the worst teams at stopping third downs. And the second most defensive snaps in the league right now on defense. Weaken this defense out. Tire them out. They will break. They will snap. We will get yards. We will get points. That's what's going to happen, guys. On the ground, specifically. In the air, it can do it too. I think I've broken down this Cowboy offense versus their Seattle defense matchups. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat. Maybe let me know if you have any questions as well as we wrap this up here. Because we're done for the night here in My Cowboys Family. I want to know your last comments in the house.
One question.
How about them Cowboys?
Almost, but has everybody hit like? Subscribe, hit that notification bell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Followed us anywhere and everywhere on YouTube. My Cowboys Family, all social media, pretty much, everywhere and everywhere.
We got to do this to them on Thursday night.
Chop, chop.
Chop them Seahawks heads off.
Ooh, so have to do the shout-outs here as well.
Make
not
sure you
just to
drop
the
a couple
in
comments
the chat,
too, yeah.
But the sponsor of the week and the Cash App King. Shout out to the man SnugX. Mary Alvarez, of course, bossing that stream around there with 93 points. And Mary Alvarez is the membership queen.
The leaders right now on the boards are splitting this right down the middle. SnugX got this side. Mary Alvarez got that side. SnugX, sponsor of the week. Cash App King back-to-back 2 weeks in a row. Will he go for 3-peat? We'll see. Mary Alvarez hitting this board crispy and clean. 93 points on the stream boss and has that gifting membership championship already. Which, by the way, I forgot. I got to add her back up there. When it comes to this week's board, she's in a tie with Jason Renfro, while Skeptical Fan is in the overall lead. You talk about overall lead. The guy in the overall lead on the overall board for that sponsor of the week and the Cash App is Stanley Smith. He is currently just jumped over Marissa, and he currently is trying to take that streak away from whoever's in his way, which right now would be SnugX. So much love to Stanley Smith as he's in the lead. And remember, all these things, baby, they add up to a very special event in about a week and a half, about 10 days from now. Why don't you let everybody know about the major, huge, the Lunatic 4-prize, 2 jerseys, by the way, but 4-prize raffle. How do they get into this thing?
Again, you guys drop $10, bam, automatically entered. Every additional $10 is an additional bonus entry because they stack, guys. So as many as you want, you can have, basically. On top of that, of course, membership has its perks. You do get an additional bonus entry if you're part of that Navy Blue Silver Star over everything.
Yeah, any of those levels you get in, and we shall see who ends up winning these 4 great prizes. What are the 4 great prizes, baby?
Of course, you have the Cowboys car package there. You have all sorts of decals and, cowboy gear for your
flags,
car.
lanyards,
so,
yeah.
Rolling in true cowboy style.
That's the car package. What about the gear package for
third place? Customizable shirt, any name, any number on the back, and an embroidered Micah Parsons hat. No
That's
cap.
one of a kind. No cap there. What about first and second place, baby?
Well, you guys already know your choice of an authentic, stitched in jersey. As long as we had the player available, the size, the style, we got you.
Yep.
And whether you're repping it old school or new.
You know it. First place, second place, that's a jersey apiece. And then, of course, third place, the gear. Fourth place, the car. You know what's going here. It's the Lunatics 4-prize raffle. Much love to the man, the Lunatic, making this happen. And again, good luck to all that are in this thing right now. We got a whole bunch of you guys in here. Let me shout out those that dropped the love from above tonight. Jason Renfro gifting a membership. Skeptical Fan gifting a couple memberships. Hannibal King in the house adding another raffle entry. Marissa Sparkle dropping 2 more raffle entries. And Mary Alvarez gifting, dropping some more love, getting another couple membership raffles in there. I mean, a couple more raffle entries for Mary Alvarez. Appreciate everybody in the house who's dropped the love. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Extra special love to the Lunatic for making this raffle go down. Again, first let's take the Seahawks down, right? But you guys can get into this raffle for the next
thing at a time, right?
next 10 days. We got this rolling, guys, till next Saturday. So you can still stack them. You could drop some today, some tomorrow, some next week. You get in this raffle, up your chances to get more entries to win one of these 4 great prizes. All right, baby. Let's do the shout-outs, the final comments, and then we're out.
Let me see. Jason Renfro saying Tony's going to have his first 100-yard game this Thursday.
Very well could happen in this game. Very well could happen. Him, Rico, I think they'll combine for over 150 yards.
There you go. It was a little early for the bold predictions, but I'll take it.
I don't know if that's bold.
I know. I'm messing with you. Asmodeus, much love. Little Dallas Cowboy. I guess. I hope Turtles like you back. Pioneer in the house saying, don't throw it, Woolen. We'll be okay.
Tyreek Woolen, again, guys. I didn't talk much about him, but he is one of their better players out there. Of course, they got Adams, they got Witherspoon, but Tyreek Woolen leading he was one of the leaders in interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. So you got to be careful, but we got other guys who can pick at on this secondary of the Seahawks, and we could always run, of course. That would help.
We have Burn Bar, much love.
Burn.
Loon Santa's Pale Moon, of course. Dank Trees, yeah. The game's only on Prime Video. It's a Thursday night game, so
join us here. We got it. Join us here, guys. We'll be watching with you all here, and if you're not watching, with us, and we'll be watching. We'll be telling you what's going down here, and you'll see our pure, passionate fandom and full display as we always do here. All genuine, and it's all love for that star for everything.
So let me keep rolling here with the shout outs. Dank Trees, of course, Jason Renfro, much love. Asmodeus, Mike Aldana, Pioneer, GM.
Well, and I forgot to also shout out Stanley Smith, dropping some love tonight from above. Part of the people that dropped the love here. Can't forget about Stanley in the Cash App, leading the overall board and leading the Cash App board.
Let me see here. We also have the sponsor of the week and Cash App King himself, Snug X, coming through.
Snug above all in the chat right now.
Just trying to roll back here. Justin D, take it easy. 434 Cowboys saying, here we go.
Here we go.
GM. I think, is that it? Yeah, I think that's as far back as I can go.
I also forgot to mention Jason Renfro's drop in the Cash App as well.
There you go.
Trying to make a run at that spot with Stanley Smith standing in the way. So that's it, guys. It's official here. Listen, these are power-packed episodes. I don't think we're going to be able to go live Friday, so keep that in mind, guys. Unless some news breaks, we do a quickie. Looks like Friday's going to be a day we kind of already got plans with family, but Friday probably definitely not going to be the only thing. This weekend's going to be kind of light because your boy here, MCF, has got a birthday to celebrate with the family. So we'll pop in and we'll pop on this weekend, but it's power-packed, 4 days right now. Tomorrow, it's the eve of the game, guys, and I'm ready. You ready? We're all ready. Tomorrow we'll talk about some of the must-win matchups, some of the bold predictions as well, and we'll, of course, know the finalization of, the injury report. Where's Micah going to be? Where are the other guys going to be on this? Fowler, they're both sick. We'll see what happens. Of course, you got the ankle issue there with Rico. He should be good. So we'll get all those answers tomorrow and more right here We'll let you know all the news, info, and updates on our Cowboys tomorrow. Eve of the game on Amazon Prime, right here on My Cowboys Family. And baby, here on this channel, why do we do this shit every single day, screaming and yelling about our love for our Dallas Cowboys? Tell everybody why we do this.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Hell yeah, guys. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here at MCF, you see it on my shirt. The star over everything. Of course, here on this channel, right here, My Cowboys Family. Been on YouTube for 6 years and beyond, but still never forget the number one thing here, number one thing now, number one thing forever here on this channel, here on YouTube, here for 6 years plus. Never forget the number one thing here on My Cowboys Family. As always, say it loud, say it proud, say it with us. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping that. Your knowledge all night long, all night, in the chat. Thank you guys for this and that. And give me your thoughts on our Dallas Cowboys. Of course, can't say enough about the drops of love from above, from everybody here in the house. Truly can't do this without the best fans of all YouTube, and I mean that. But now, on that note, as we drop out of here for the night and clock out of here for the stream, before we can relock and reload for another fantastic show on Wednesday tomorrow, the eve of the game. Baby, tell everybody what we got to do before we drop on out of here.
We got to drop the beat.
That little extended beat.
Maybe you anticipated a little more.
The way Dak extends plays, you extended the drop. That's what we do here, guys. Thank you for rocking with us on another episode. We have thousands and thousands of shows. Another episode here, My Cowboys Family. A nightly style thing. Now, guys, here, once again, another Cowboys chat. Closed out for the night. We talked about their defense. We talked about the update from Jerry Jones and others, and Mike McCarthy and others, about Darius Leonard, Shaq. And, of course, we talked about the 4-88 connection. We talked about our offense versus this upcoming defense on Thursday, and so much more. Join us tomorrow for more right here on MCF, where it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here on this channel. Don't ever forget the number one thing here in My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone, even the haters. We appreciate everybody here who's been watching, hitting that like, subscribing to the channel, growing this thing, hitting the notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and jumping in that Discord as well. Thank you all for all that. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. Stay safe. Peace out. And never, ever forget, go Cowboys!